Thank you, everyone. Please be seated. Okay, sorry everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Commissioner Hughes. This is the 2 p.m. initial appearance calendar for Friday, March 7th. The court's orders for the taking of DNA samples and fingerprints issued on the first calendar of this month will apply to the hearings on this calendar. As we get started in here this afternoon, I will call each of you into the courtroom one at a time. I'll ask one of you to stand behind this gray podium here in the courtroom in front of me. Then I will ask the next people that I intend to call into the courtroom to line up in these 2 chairs here right inside this door. So the first time I call your name, I'll ask you to move to the second chair. When I call the next person to the second chair, if you're in the second chair, if you'd move to the first chair, and then you'll be next up in the courtroom. I know that sounds like a lot of movement, but I promise you it will make this calendar move quicker. There are a lot of you in here, so if you'll listen for your name and sort of move through the chairs that way, it'll get everybody to where they need to go after this a little bit faster. Once you are in the courtroom and you're behind the gray podium, I'll start by asking you to state your full name and date of birth. Then I will explain to you why you're here this afternoon. I'll tell you whether you qualify for a court-appointed lawyer, sometimes called a public defender, to represent you. If you do not qualify for a public defender, you have the right to hire a lawyer to represent you and be present at all criminal proceedings. After we talk about whether you get a court-appointed lawyer, I will give you the next court hearing dates and times you'll be required to attend after this court hearing. Then the last thing we'll do while you're in the courtroom is talk about whether you are legally eligible for release from custody. If you are, we will talk about what the terms and conditions of your release will be. In addition to that right to the assistance of counsel, you all also have the right to remain silent. These are recorded criminal proceedings. Anything that you do choose to say in the courtroom this afternoon will be preserved on the recording and can be used against you at any point down the line in these proceedings. Whether or not you qualify for a court-appointed lawyer, there will not be a lawyer in the courtroom this afternoon for purposes of your defense. Because you won't have a lawyer in here and because anything you say could be used against you, I will strongly caution all of you against making any statements regarding the facts about why you're here. I encourage you all to save any questions, comments, statements that you might want to make about the facts of your case for a hearing where you have a lawyer present to discuss those with before you make any statements that you can't take back. Last thing I'll tell you before we get started is that all of the information that I give you while you're in the courtroom will be contained in a written document called a release order. You will be handed a copy of that document when you're done in the courtroom and you step back into that room. So please don't feel like you need to memorize dates and times or any of the information you get while you're in the courtroom, but please keep that paperwork with you wherever you go from here, because in that paperwork will be all the information that you got while you were in the courtroom. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Can I have Felicia Farnsworth all the way into the courtroom behind the podium, please? Vaughn Teasley, if I could ask you to work your way to the first chair inside the door. Elizabeth Cota, if I could ask you to work your way to that second chair, please. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Felicia Farnsworth.
And what's your date of birth?
1895.
Thank you very much, Ms. Farnsworth. You are here on allegations of new charges. The allegations against you are 1 count of narcotic drug possession, a Class 4 felony, 1 count of failing to report prison contraband, that's a Class 5 felony, and 1 count of drug paraphernalia possession, which is a Class 6 felony. I have found probable cause to support those allegations, and I have appointed a lawyer to defend you. Your next court hearings will be a status conference March 13th and then a preliminary hearing on the 17th. Both of those hearings will be at 8:30 in the morning in the Superior Court downtown. Because these allegations are all felony offenses alleged to have been committed while you were on pretrial release in a different felony case, you are not eligible for release on bond. You will be held in custody without bail at least until an evidentiary hearing is held. That hearing is scheduled for March 14th at 1:30 in the afternoon. Between now and that hearing on the 14th, you will be held without bond. Do you understand that information?
I didn't know that I was on release for a different charge.
I'm sorry?
I didn't know that I was on release for...
Yeah, it looks like you have an open criminal case involving narcotic, drug, and drug paraphernalia allegations. Looks like your initial appearance on that case was December 12th. So that's the case that is the basis for holding you non-bondable. Any other questions? Okay, go ahead and step back and get your paperwork. Thank you. Vaughn Teasley, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. Cindy Tarango, if I could ask you to work your way to the second chair. Good afternoon, sir. Can I please have your name and date of birth?
Vaughn Alexander Teasley, 9688.
Say the month one more time.
September 6, 88.
Thank you, Mr. Teasley. You are here on allegations of new charges. The allegations against you are 1 count of dangerous drug possession, 1 count of narcotic drug possession. Those two are both Class 4 felonies. And last is 1 count of drug paraphernalia possession, which is a Class 6 felony. I have found probable cause to support those allegations, and I have appointed a lawyer to defend you. Your next court hearings will be a status conference March 13th and then a preliminary hearing on the 17th. Those 2 hearings will be at 8:30 in the morning in the Superior Court downtown. Because these allegations are all felony offenses alleged to have been committed while you were on pretrial release in a different felony case, you are not eligible for release on bond. That means you'll be held in custody without bail, at least until an evidentiary hearing is held. That hearing is scheduled for March 14th at 1:30 in the afternoon. Between now and that hearing on the 14th, you will be held without bond. Do you understand that information?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, sir. You can step back and get your paperwork. Elizabeth Coda to the podium in the courtroom, please. Jonathan Dominguez, if you would work your way to the second chair, please. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Elizabeth Coda, August 4th, 1990.
Thank you, Ms. Coda. You are here on 3 different matters. The first matter that you're here on is a probation violation warrant issued by the Apache Junction Municipal Court. In that case, you are entitled to a court-appointed lawyer at a minimum for purposes of release conditions. That lawyer in the Apache County case will be appointed by the Apache Junction judge at your next court hearing. Your next hearing in that matter will be an arraignment hearing March 12th. It'll be at 8:30 in the morning in the Apache Junction Municipal Court. On that warrant, you have a $750 secured appearance bond. The second matter that you're here on is a bench warrant issued by the Superior Court here in Maricopa County when you fail to appear at a status conference in an existing felony drug case. In that case, you already have a lawyer assigned to defend you, so that lawyer will continue to represent you. Your next court hearing in that existing Maricopa County felony case will be a status conference March 13th at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On that warrant, you have a $250 secured appearance bond. The last matter that you're here on is an arrest warrant that was issued after a direct complaint was filed. A direct complaint is a written document that in this case alleges 1 new allegation against you. The allegation in that direct complaint is 1 count of shoplifting, a Class 6 felony. It is alleged to have been committed February 29th of 2024. I have appointed a lawyer to defend you against that shoplifting allegation. Your next court hearings in that case will be a status conference March 13th and a preliminary hearing on the 17th. It's okay because they're both in Superior Court. Okay. So you'll be seen on both of those days. They'll all be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. So you'll go, if they're not in the same courtroom, you'll go from one courtroom to the other, but you'll be seen on both of those calendars because it's the same court. Okay, on the direct complaint, the new charge, because it is a felony offense alleged to have been committed while you were on pretrial release in that existing felony drug case, you are not bond eligible. So you will be held in custody without bail on that new shoplifting charge at least until March 14th at 1:30. Because you are not bond eligible on that one case at least until that hearing on the 14th, I encourage you not yet to try to post your bonds on the other 2 cases, at least until after you see the judge on the 14th. Which may not matter because you'll go to Apache Junction before the 14th. So you might become bond eligible or you might be released on that Apache Junction one. But Point being, at least until you see the judges, you're not eligible for release. So if you posted that bond, you would still be held in custody.
Okay.
So I don't want to see you post that and just waste that money and not get released anyway. So wait until you see the judges on your cases before you decide whether or not to try to post the monetary bonds. Okay, do you understand all that information?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Cota. You can step back and get your paperwork. Cindy Tarango to the podium in the courtroom, please. Derek Madrid, if I could ask you to work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Candy Triangle, 11/22/88.
Thank you very much, Ms. Tarango. I apologize for getting your first name wrong. Okay, you're here on two different matters. The first matter that you're here on is a bench warrant issued by the Superior Court when you failed to appear at a comprehensive pretrial conference in a narcotic drug sales felony case. In that existing case, you already have a lawyer defending you. That lawyer will continue to represent you. Your next court hearing in the existing case will be a status conference March 17th. It'll be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown.
March what?
March 17th. On that existing case, on that bond, you have a $6,000 secured appearance bond. The second matter that you're here on is allegations of new charges. Those allegations are one count of narcotic drug possession, a Class 4 felony, one count of escape, a Class 5 felony, and one count of drug paraphernalia possession, a Class 6 felony.
What?
I have found probable cause to support those new allegations, and I've appointed a lawyer to defend you on those new charges. Your next court hearings on the new allegations will be a status conference March 13th, and then a preliminary hearing the 17th, the same day as your other hearing. All of those will be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. Because these new allegations are felony offenses alleged to have been committed while you were on release in that existing felony case, you are not bond eligible on the new charges. That means you're going to be held in custody without bail at least until the 14th at 1:30. If you become bond eligible after your hearing on the 14th on those new charges, then you could look at posting the bond on the existing case to be eligible for release on both cases. Do you understand that information?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Rango. Okay. Caleb Lopez, if I could get you to work your way to that second chair, please. Can I have your name and date of birth?
Jonathan Dominguez, 0609-2001.
Thank you, Mr. Dominguez. You are here on two different matters. The first matter that you're here on is allegations of new charges. Those allegations are two counts of aggravated assault on first responders. They are both Class 4 felonies. One count of attempted aggravated assault by impeding breathing. That's a Class 5 felony. One count of resisting arrest, a Class 6 felony, and one count of assault as a Class 1 misdemeanor. I have found probable cause to support those new allegations, and I have appointed a lawyer to defend you. Your next court hearings on the new allegations will be a status conference March 13th, and then a preliminary hearing on the 17th. They'll both be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On those new allegations, I have imposed a $25,000 secured appearance bond. The second matter that you're here on is an allegation that those new charges violate Term 1 of your probation. I have appointed a lawyer to represent you in the probation case as well. Your next court hearing in the probation matter will be a revocation arraignment hearing. It will take place March 14th at 8:30, also in the Superior Court downtown. On that probation matter, you are not eligible for release on bond. That means you will be held in custody without bail at least until you see the probation judge on the 14th. Because of that, you should not yet try to post your bond on the existing charge, or excuse me, on the new charges. You should wait until after you see the probation court on the 14th. Do you understand that information?
Yes, I do.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Dominguez. You can step back and get your paperwork. Derek Madrid, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. Gabriel Herrera, if you would please join Mr. Lopez in that chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Derek Madrid, 04/01/04.
Thank you very much, Mr. Madrid. You are here on allegations of new charges. The allegations against you are one count of armed robbery with a deadly weapon, that is a Class 2 felony, and one count of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, that's a Class 3 felony. I have found probable cause to support those two offenses, and I have appointed a lawyer to defend you. Your next court hearings will be a status conference March 13th, and then a preliminary hearing on the 17th. They'll both be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On these allegations, I have imposed a $50,000 secured appearance bond. Secured appearance means that you can use a bonding company to post that bond if you choose to. If you do post that bond and you are released from custody, you cannot return to the scene where the underlying events took place. You cannot have contact with any alleged victims, witnesses, or co-defendants, and you cannot possess any weapons or any drugs without a valid prescription if you're released from custody. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Madrid. You can step back to your left. Caleb Lopez to the podium in the courtroom, please. Juan Baca Saiz to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Caleb Lopez, August 18, 2006.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lopez. You are here on allegations of new charges. The allegations against you are 1 count of armed robbery with a deadly weapon, that's a Class 2 felony, and 1 count of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, that is a Class 3 felony. I have found probable cause to support those allegations, and I've appointed a lawyer to defend you.
Okay.
Your next court hearings will be a status conference March 13th and then a preliminary hearing on the 17th. Both of those hearings will be at 8:30 in the morning in the Superior Court downtown. On these allegations, I have imposed a $50,000 secured appearance bond. If you post that bond and you are released from custody, you cannot go back to the location where the underlying events allegedly took place, and you cannot have contact with any alleged victims, witnesses, or co-defendants. You also cannot possess any weapons or any drugs without a valid prescription if you're released. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Lopez. You can step back to your left. Gabriel Herrera to the podium in the courtroom, please. Brian White, if you would please work your way to the second chair. Good afternoon. May I please have your name and date of birth?
My name is Gabriel Herrera. My date of birth is 9/26 of 1974.
Thank you very much, Mr. Herrera. You are here on allegations of new charges. The allegations against you are 1 count of dangerous drug possession for sale, 1 count of narcotic drug possession for sale. Those are both Class 2 felonies. 1 count of possession of a weapon by a prohibited person, 1 count of possession or use of a weapon in a drug offense. Those 2 are Class 4 felonies. 1 count of drug paraphernalia possession, which is a Class 6 felony. And last is 1 count of failing to admit you were carrying a deadly weapon. That one's a Class 1 misdemeanor. I have found probable cause to support these new allegations, but I have appointed a lawyer to defend you. Your next court hearings will be a status conference March 13th and then a preliminary hearing on the 17th, both of those hearings at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On these allegations, I have imposed a $25,000 cash-only bond. If you post that bond and you are released from custody, you cannot possess any weapons or any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Cash only is $25,000 cash, or?
Yes, the court has to receive a bond in the amount of $25,000 cash. I have gotten conflicting information about whether or not bonding companies will work with cash bonds. So I don't know whether you could use a bonding company to post that or not. But when you get back into the jail, there's a list of bonding companies and their phone numbers posted in different places.
Okay.
You could call every single bonding company on that list if you want to see if you can find one that will work with a cash bond.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Herrera. Juan Baca Saiz to the podium in the courtroom, please. Mario Michelle, if I could ask you to work your way to that second chair, please. Good afternoon. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Juan Pablo Baca Saiz, September 9, 1995.
Did you say 95 or 85?
95.
Thank you, Mr. Baca Saiz. Okay, you are here on 7 different matters. The first matter that you're here on is an allegation of a new felony offense. That allegation is 1 count of escape. It is a Class 5 felony that I have found probable cause to support. I have appointed a lawyer to defend you against that new allegation. Your next court hearings on that allegation will be a status conference March 13th and then a preliminary hearing the 17th. Those hearings will both be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On that new escape allegation, I have imposed a $15,000 secured appearance bond.
$15,000?
$15,000. The next 2 matters you're here on are both probation violation allegations. In both of those cases, the allegation is that that new charge violated Term 1 of your probation. I've also appointed a lawyer for you in those 2 probation cases. Your next court hearing in those cases will be a revocation arraignment March 14th at 8:30. On both of those probation matters, you have a $500 secured appearance bond. That's each. So far, we're at $16,000 total for 3 cases. The 4th case you're here on is a failure to comply with court terms warrant issued by the Arrowhead Justice Court on a misdemeanor shoplifting allegation. In that case, you're entitled to a court-appointed lawyer for purposes of release conditions, and I have appointed one for you. Your next court hearing on the Arrowhead misdemeanor will be an arraignment March 12th at 8:30. That hearing will be in the Arrowhead Justice Court, not in the Superior Court downtown. On that shoplifting misdemeanor warrant, you have a $100 secured appearance bond. The 5th matter that you're here on is a failure to comply with court terms warrant. This one issued by the Youngtown Municipal Court on a misdemeanor theft case. In that case, you are entitled to a court-appointed lawyer for purposes of release conditions, but that lawyer will be appointed for you by the Youngtown judge at your next hearing. Your next hearing in that case will be an arraignment the 13th at 9 o'clock in the Youngtown Municipal Court. You also have a $100 secured appearance bond on that warrant. The last 2 matters that you're here on are failure to appear warrants. One is a failure to appear warrant, one's a probation violation warrant. Those both issued by the El Mirage Municipal Court. On both of those cases, you're also entitled to a court-appointed lawyer for purposes of release conditions. Those lawyers will also be appointed for you at your next court hearing by the El Mirage judge. Those hearings will be on March 11th at 8 o'clock in the El Mirage Municipal Court. On each of the El Mirage warrants, you have a $150 secured appearance bond. So I think that means your total bond will be, let me see, 15 plus 1, 16, $16,500. So $16,500 all secured appearance.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Brian White to the podium in the courtroom, please. Rafael Cuevas to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please, sir?
12/3/87.
And what's your name?
Brian White.
Thank you, Mr. White. You are here on an allegation of a new charge. That allegation is 1 count of unlawful flight from a law enforcement vehicle. It is a Class 5 felony. I have found probable cause to support that allegation and appointed a lawyer to defend you. Your next court hearing will be a status conference March 13th, followed by a preliminary hearing the 17th, both of those at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On this allegation, I have imposed a $10,000 secured appearance bond. If you post that and you are released from custody, you cannot possess any weapons or drugs without a valid prescription, and you cannot operate a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. Do you understand those conditions?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Mr. White. You can step back and get your paperwork. Mario Michel to the podium in the courtroom, please. Christopher Nosil, if you would please work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please, sir?
Mario Mitchell, 11987.
Say your date of birth one more time for me, please.
11987.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mitchell. You are here on a bench warrant issued by the Superior Court when you fail to appear at a sentencing hearing in an existing felony burglary tools possession case. You have a lawyer already assigned to you in that matter. That lawyer will continue to defend you. Your next court hearing will be a status conference March 13th. It'll be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. And on that warrant, you have a $5,000 secured appearance bond. If you post that bond and you're released from custody, in addition to getting yourself to your next hearing on the 13th, you are also ordered not to return to the scene where the underlying alleged events took place and not to have any contact with alleged victims or witnesses. Do you understand those conditions? Yes. All right, thanks, Mr. Mitchell. You can step back and get your paperwork. Rafael Cuevas to the podium in the courtroom, please. Derek Gilliam, if you'd work your way to the second chair, please. Can I have your name and date of birth?
Rafael Cuevas, 9/16/88.
88 or 98?
88.
Thank you, Mr. Cuevas. You are here on allegations of new charges. The allegations against you are 1 count of theft and 1 count of possession of burglary tools. They are both Class 6 felonies. I have found probable cause to support those allegations and appointed a lawyer to defend you. Your next court hearings will be a status conference March 13th and a preliminary hearing the 17th. They'll both be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On these allegations, I have imposed a $5,000 secured appearance bond. If you post that bond and you're released, you cannot return to the scene where the underlying events took place. You cannot have contact with any alleged victims or witnesses, and you cannot possess any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Yeah. I just had a pair of scissors. Those are burglary tools?
They are, yes. So no scissors, no, if you're released, don't possess scissors, don't possess wire cutters, bolt cutters, screwdrivers, anything like that. Okay, anything else? All right, thank you very much. You can step back and get your paperwork. Christopher Nosel to the podium in the courtroom, please. Michael Simpson, if you would please work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Christopher Noso, 0104-921.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nosel. You are here on a bench warrant issued by the Superior Court when you failed to appear at a sentencing hearing in an existing, looks like resisting arrest and assault case. You have a lawyer already assigned to you in that matter. That lawyer will continue to defend you. Your next court hearing will be a status conference March 13th. It'll be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On that warrant, you have a $2,500 secured appearance bond. If you post that bond and you are released from custody, you cannot return to the scene where the underlying assault allegedly took place. You cannot have contact with any alleged victims or witnesses, and you can't possess any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Yeah, where was this one at?
Where was what?
This assault and trespassing?
It wasn't it looks like the underlying allegations are assault and resisting arrest. And where the location of the original offense is, I don't know, because I'm seeing you on a warrant that was issued when you didn't go to the sentencing hearing in that case.
I was when he broke in my house and I pushed him out, and so I fought the cops not trying to go to the bank before 8:30 in the morning when the bank was closed to prove that I owned the house still.
If you're asking me to confirm that, I don't know. I don't have the facts. I just have the warrant.
Those are the facts.
What?
All right, those are the facts.
Okay, very good. Go ahead and step back to your left. Derek Gilliam to the podium in the courtroom, please. Borge Figueroa, if you would please work your way to the second chair. Derek Gilliam?
Derek.
It looks like he has like an army green hoodie on, gray beard. Okay, it looks like he's going to find him or get him. Michael Simpson, if I could ask you to work your way into the courtroom, please. Now, I don't know if there's an open chair, but if there is, if Dustin Sawicki could if you could work your way to it, please. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
10/14/69.
And what's your name?
Michael Simpson.
Thank you very much, Mr. Simpson. You are here on two different matters. The first matter that you're here on is allegations of new charges. Those allegations are one count of burglary, a Class 4 felony, one count of criminal trespassing, and one count of criminal damage. Those last two are Class 6 felonies. I have found probable cause to support those new allegations, and I've appointed a lawyer to defend you. Your next court hearings will be a status conference March 13th and then a preliminary hearing March 17th. They'll both be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On those new allegations, I have imposed a $2,500 secured appearance bond. The second matter that you're here on is a failure to appear warrant issued by the Peoria Municipal Court. On that warrant, you are entitled to a court-appointed lawyer for purposes of release conditions. That lawyer will be appointed for you by the Peoria judge, though, at your next hearing. Your next hearing on that misdemeanor warrant will be an arraignment hearing March 11th, that one at 9 o'clock in the Peoria Municipal Court. On the Peoria warrant, you have a $250 secured appearance bond. So your total bond will be $2,750. It is all secured appearance. If you post that and you're released from custody, you cannot go back to the location where the new alleged burglary and criminal damage and trespassing offenses took place, and you can't possess any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
I do.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Simpson. You can step back and get your paperwork. Okay, Derek Gilliam to the podium in the courtroom, please. Borge Figueroa, you'll still be next, and then Dustin Sawicki will get to you. Good afternoon, sir. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Derek Gilliam,
And what's your date of birth?
2/14/1974.
Thank you, Mr. Gilliam. You are here on two different matters. Both of them are bench warrants issued by the Superior Court when you failed to appear at sentencing hearings in two different existing felony drug cases. In both of those cases, you have a lawyer already assigned to defend you, so those assigned lawyers will continue to represent you. Your next court hearing in both of these cases will be a status conference March 13th. It'll be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On each of these two warrants, you have a $2,500 secured appearance bond. That means your total bond will be $5,000. It is all secured appearance. If you post that and you are released from custody, in addition to getting yourself to your hearing on the 13th, you are ordered not to possess any weapons or any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, sir. You can step back and get your paperwork. Borge Figueroa to the podium in the courtroom, please. Mark Talabas, if you would please work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Borge Figueroa, 5/15/97.
Say your date of birth one more time.
5/15/97.
Thank you very much, Mr. Figueroa. You are here on an arrest warrant issued after a direct complaint was filed alleging new allegations against you. The allegations alleged in that direct complaint are 2 counts of shoplifting, both class 4 felonies, one alleged to have been committed July 13th, and one alleged, January 13th. One alleged to be committed January 13th, the other January 19th, both of 2025. I have appointed a lawyer to defend you against those allegations. Your next court hearings will be a status conference March 13th and then a preliminary hearing March 17th. They will both be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On that direct complaint, you have a $2,000 secured appearance bond. If you post that bond and you are released from custody, you are ordered not to return to the scene where either of the alleged shoplifting offenses took place if you know where they are. You also cannot have contact with any alleged witnesses or co-defendants if there are any, and you also cannot possess any drugs without a valid prescription if you're released from custody. Do you understand those conditions? Okay, thank you, Mr. Figueroa. You can step back and get your paperwork. Dustin Sawicki to the podium in the courtroom, please. Ernesto Murillo, if you would please work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Dustin Sawicki, 2/27/84.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sawicki. You are here on two different matters. Both of them are probation violation warrants. In both cases, petitions to revoke your probation allege that you have violated terms 3 and 5. I have appointed a lawyer to represent you in both cases. Your next court hearing in each of these cases will be a revocation arraignment hearing March 14th at 8:30 in the probation court downtown. On each of these warrants, you do have a bond. One is $1,500, the other is $1,000 even. So your total bond for these two warrants will be $2,500. It is all secured appearance. If you post that and you are released from custody, you cannot possess any weapons or any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Sawicki. You can step back and get your paperwork. Mark Talabas to the podium in the courtroom, please. David Hunter, if you would please work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth?
Mark Talabas, 04/29/82.
Thank you very much. You are here on a probation violation warrant. A petition to revoke your probation was filed. It alleges that you have violated terms 3 and 5 of your probation. I have appointed a lawyer to represent you. Your next court hearing will be a revocation arraignment hearing March 14th. It'll be at 8:30 in the probation court downtown. And on that warrant, you have a $750 secured appearance bond. If you post that and you are released, you are ordered not to possess any weapons or any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you, sir. You can step back and get your paperwork. Ernesto Murillo to the podium in the courtroom, please. Brandon Breshears, if you would please work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please, sir?
Ernesto Garcia Murillo,
And what's your date of birth?
4/23/85.
Thank you very much, Mr. Garcia Murillo. You are here on a bench warrant issued by the Superior Court when you failed to appear at a status conference in an existing felony drug case. You have a lawyer assigned to you in that case already. That lawyer will continue to defend you. Your next court hearings will be a new status conference March 13th. That'll be followed by a preliminary hearing March 17th. Both of them will be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On that warrant, you have a $500 secured appearance bond. If you post that and you are released from custody, in addition to attending your court hearings, you are ordered not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you very much. You can step back and get your paperwork.
So am I OR or?
No, you have a bond.
Okay, so,
All right. Thank you, sir. David Hunter to the podium in the courtroom, please. Zachary Gonzalez, if you would please work your way to the second chair. David Hunter, looks like a gray button-up shirt. I said gray, but I meant blue. I don't know. It might be gray.
Hunter! Hunter! Come on, Hunter. Let's go. Yes.
Can I have your name and date of birth, please, sir?
David Hunter, 12/4/91.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hunter. You are here on 3 probation violation warrants. In all 3 cases, petitions to revoke your probation allege that you have violated terms 3, 4, 5, and 15. I have appointed a lawyer to represent you in all 3 cases. Your next court hearing in each of these 3 probation cases will be a revocation arraignment March 14th at 8:30 in the probation court downtown. And on each of these 3 warrants, you have a $500 secured appearance bond. So your total bond will be $1,500, all secured appearance. If you post that and you are released, you cannot possess any weapons or any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions? All right. Thank you, Mr. Hunter. You can step back and get your paperwork. Brandon Breshears to the podium in the courtroom, please. Tara Suman, if you would please work your way to the second chair. Oh, got a lot of movement in there. All right.
hello?
Hi. Yep, very good. Can I have your name and date of birth?
Name is Brandon Brashears. Date of birth is 9/26/76.
Thank you very much, Mr. Breshears. You are here on a probation violation warrant. A petition to revoke your probation was filed. It alleges that you have violated terms 3 and 5 of your probation. I have appointed a lawyer to represent you. Your next court hearing will be a probation revocation arraignment hearing. It will take place March 14th. It'll be at 8:30 in the probation court downtown. And you have a $250 secured appearance bond on that warrant. If you post that bond and you are released, you cannot possess any weapons or any drugs without a valid prescription.
Yes,
Do you
ma'am.
understand those conditions?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Breshears. You can step back and get your paperwork. Zachary Gonzalez to the podium in the courtroom, please. Lionel James, if I could ask you to work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Zachary Gonzalez, 7/24/90.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. You are here on 4 different matters. The first matter that you're here on is an arrest warrant issued after a direct complaint was filed alleging new allegations against you. The allegations in that direct complaint are 1 count of dangerous drug possession, a Class 4 felony, and 1 count of drug paraphernalia possession, a Class 6 felony. The direct complaint alleges that both of those offenses were committed July 11th of 2024. I have appointed a lawyer to represent you. Your next court hearings on those new allegations will be a status conference March 13th and then a preliminary hearing on the 17th, both of them at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. The other 3 matters you're here on are all probation violation warrants. In all 3 of those cases, petitions to revoke your probation allege that you have violated terms 3 and 5. I have appointed a lawyer for you in all 3 of those probation cases. Your next court hearing in each of those 3 cases will be a revocation arraignment March 14th at 8:30 in the probation court downtown. On each of these 4 cases, you have a $250 secured appearance bond. So your total bond for all 4 will be $1,000. It is all secured appearance. If you post that and you are released from custody, you cannot possess any weapons or any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you very much. You can step back and get your paperwork. Tara Suman to the podium in the courtroom, please. Thomas Wittenhofer, if you would please work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please, ma'am?
Tara Suman, 10-7-88.
Thank you, Ms. Suman. You are here on 2 bench warrants, both issued by the probation court when you failed to appear at non-witness violation hearings. In each of those 2 probation cases, you already have a lawyer assigned to you. That lawyer will continue to defend you. Your next court hearing in each of these 2 cases will be a new non-witness violation hearing. It will take place March 14th at 8:30 in the probation court downtown. On each of these 2 warrants, you have a $250 secured appearance bond. So your total bond will be $500. If you post that and you're released, in addition to getting to that next hearing on the 14th, you are also ordered not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much. You can step back and get your paperwork. Lionel James to the podium in the courtroom, please. Jaron Moorfield, if you would please work your way to the chair. Lionel James. Thomas Wittenhofer, if you're not in the chair. Very good, thank you. Jaron Moorfield, if I could get you in the second chair. Hold on just a second, Mr. Wittenhofer. I just want you in the chair right outside that door. All right, can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Lionel James, 7/26/81.
Thank you, Mr. James. You are here on a probation violation warrant. A petition to revoke your probation alleges that you have violated terms 3 and 5 of your probation. I have appointed a lawyer to defend you. Your next court hearing will be a revocation arraignment hearing March 14th. It'll be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On that warrant, you have a $250 secured appearance bond. If you post that and you are released, you cannot possess any weapons or any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions? All right, thank you very much, sir. You can step back and get your paperwork. Okay, Thomas Wittenhofer, I'm ready for you in the courtroom, please. William Bisbee, if I could ask you to work your way, please, to the second chair. Jaron Moorfield, are you out there? Yeah. Oh, okay. So could somebody find me Thomas Wittenhofer? Looks like maybe he has a blue hoodie on. Mr. Moorfield, since you're ready, if you want to work your way in, that would be great. Right behind this gray podium. Very good. Can I have your name and date of birth?
Jaron Lee Moorfield, January 6, 1989.
Thank you, Mr. Moorfield. You are here on an arrest warrant issued after a direct complaint was filed. That direct complaint alleges new allegations against you. The allegations are 1 count of narcotic drug possession, a Class 4 felony, and 1 count of drug paraphernalia possession, a Class 6 felony. I have appointed a lawyer to defend you against those allegations. Your next court hearings will be a status conference March 21st and then a preliminary hearing March 25th, both at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. I am releasing you to the supervision of pretrial services. What that means is you will be released from custody without having to post a bond. Once you are released from custody, it will be your responsibility to get yourself to your next 2 court hearings. You will also be required to make contact with pretrial services. You'll get a packet with your release order that has their contact information in there. Also, once you're out of custody, you cannot possess any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Yep.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. You can step back and get your paperwork. Thomas Wittenhofer, if I could ask you to work your way into the courtroom, please. So I should have William Bisbee in chair number 1. Amanda Price, if you would please work your way to chair number 2. Can I have your name and date of birth, please, sir?
Thomas Wittenhofer, 2/27/1981.
Thank you very much, Mr. Wittenhofer. You are here on 2 probation violation warrants. In both cases, petitions to revoke your probation have been filed. They both allege that you have violated terms 3 and 5. I have appointed a lawyer to defend you in both cases. Your next court hearing will be a revocation arraignment hearing. It'll be March 14th at 8:30 in the probation court downtown. On each of these 2 warrants, you have a $100 secured appearance bond. So your total bond for these 2 warrants will be $200. If you post that and you are released from custody, you cannot possess any weapons or any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. You can step back and get your paperwork. William Bisbee, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. Zach Lydford, if I could ask you to work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please, sir?
William Andrew Bisbee, April 7th, 1988.
Thank you, Mr. Bisbee. You are here on allegations of new charges. The allegations against you are 1 count of dangerous drug possession, that's a Class 4 felony, and 1 count of drug paraphernalia possession, which is a Class 6 felony. I have found probable cause to support those allegations, and I have appointed a lawyer to defend you. Your next court hearings will be a status conference March 21st and then a preliminary hearing March 25th. They will both be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. I am releasing you to the supervision of pretrial services, so you will be released from custody without having to post a bond. Once you are released from custody, you will be responsible for getting yourself to both of your next court hearings.
Yes, ma'am.
You will also be responsible for contacting pretrial services. Their contact information will be in a packet that you get with your release order, so please keep that in addition to your paperwork.
Yes, ma'am.
Once you're out of custody, you cannot have contact with any alleged co-defendant, and you cannot possess any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
My co-defendant is also my sister.
Okay.
We were living together as well.
When you say we're living together, do you currently live together?
At the moment, yes. She does have her mom here that she can go stay with. But
Okay, so I'm sort of confused. So are you telling me if I release you right now, where you're going to go live is also the place where the alleged co-defendant in this case lives?
no.
Okay.
We live together at the moment, but she can go back to Phoenix to her mom's.
Go ahead and have a seat. Okay, so without me making any orders that the alleged co-defendant has to go somewhere else, would you reside together?
Yes.
Okay. So here's what I'll do. I will modify that. So I'm not going to displace you or the alleged co-defendant. You are free to live wherever you choose to. If the alleged co-defendant wants to go somewhere else, she has every right to do that. If she does not, I'm not going to order that. Here's what I will order. So instead of no contact with the alleged co-defendant, what I'm going to order is no contact regarding the substance of these criminal cases with the alleged co-defendant.
Thank you,
So you can be in the same location, you can communicate with each other, you cannot communicate about the substance of these criminal cases.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else that we need to address or make more workable?
No, ma'am.
Okay, I'll get this modified, we'll get it reprinted and bring it out to you if you'll take a step back to your left. Thank you, Mr. Bisbee. Okay, can I please have Amanda Price into the podium in the courtroom? Naomi Dickmeyer, if you would please work your way to the second chair. Okay, can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Amanda Price, 10592.
Thank you very much, Ms. Price. You are here on allegations of new charges. The allegations against you are 1 count of theft of a means of transportation, that is a Class 3 felony, 1 count of dangerous drug possession, a Class 4 felony, and 1 count of drug paraphernalia possession, a Class 6 felony. I have found probable cause to support the 2 drug-related offenses. I have not found probable cause to support the theft of a means allegation.
Okay.
My finding of no probable cause does not mean that allegation is legally dismissed.
Right.
It is possible that the county attorney's office will file formal charges on that allegation. What my finding of no probable cause does mean is that based on the information law enforcement gave me for purposes of this hearing, I was unable to determine that that information met the legal elements of that crime.
Okay.
I have determined that you are entitled to a court-appointed lawyer, so I've appointed a lawyer for you. That lawyer will defend you against these drug allegations, but also that theft of a means allegation if the county attorney charges it.
Okay.
Your next court hearings will be a status conference March 21st and then a preliminary hearing March 25th, both of them at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown.
Okay.
I am releasing you to the direction of pretrial services, so you will be released from custody. You don't have to post a bond. Once you are out of custody, you will be responsible for getting yourself to both of your court hearings,
Absolutely.
and you will also be required to contact pretrial services.
Okay.
So please keep the packet that you get with your release order. Their contact information will be in there. Once you are out of custody, you are ordered not to have contact with the alleged co-defendant regarding the substance of these criminal cases. You also can't possess any drugs without a valid prescription. Okay. Do you understand those conditions?
I do. Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
I am a truck driver.
Okay.
An over-the-road truck driver at that. Am I allowed to go back to work, or do I have to stay within the state?
Do you always come back? Is Arizona your home base?
No, I'm actually in the middle of a divorce with my husband, so I'm moving back here, but currently I reside in Pennsylvania. My license is a PA license, all of that. So we came out to visit family.
Okay.
Some things happened, and this is,
So
I just want to know if I have to switch everything back to Arizona. I'm going to be residing here now.
The standard release condition is that you do remain in the state of Arizona while this criminal case is pending.
Okay.
I'm willing to allow you to travel to other states if you need that between now and your first hearing on the 21st.
Right.
So do you have current plans to leave the state of Arizona between now and March 21st?
I do, yes.
To go to Pennsylvania?
To go to Pennsylvania and collect belongings.
Okay.
At least that. Like, I don't have to go back to work right now. I can wait till this is done. That's, or I could stay local. Like, there's other options. But
all right.
I do have to get my belongings from my soon-to-be ex-husband.
Okay. I will allow you to return, or I'll allow you to travel between Arizona and Pennsylvania.
Thank you.
While this case is pending. The only condition is that you must return to the state of Arizona by midnight on March 20th so that you will be present at your court hearing at 8 a.m. on the 21st.
I've never missed a court hearing.
Okay, so you're free to travel between Arizona and Pennsylvania. Just make sure you're in Arizona for your court date. Yep. Anything else we need to address?
No, that is all.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. If you already have your paperwork, if you'll hand it back to the officer, since I added new conditions, we'll have to reprint it. So keep the envelope. Switch him out the paperwork. Go ahead and step back to your left. When it's ready, we'll bring it out to you. Thank you, Ms. Price. Zach Lightford to the podium in the courtroom, please. Joshua Keller, if I could ask you to work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, and will you drop your hood for me, please? Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. June 5th, 2000.
All right, and what's your full name?
Zach Coney Lidford. Lydford.
It's pronounced Lidford?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Lidford.
Yes, ma'am.
You are here on allegations of new charges. The allegations against you are 1 count of assault and 1 count of disorderly conduct. They are both misdemeanor allegations. Because they are misdemeanor allegations, you're not entitled to a court-appointed lawyer to defend you. You do have the right still to hire a lawyer to represent you if you wish to be represented. Your next court hearing will be an arraignment hearing April 1st. March 1st is already passed. April 1st at 1:30 in the afternoon. It'll be in the Surprise Municipal Court. I am releasing you on your own recognizance, so you will be released from custody. That means it's going to be your responsibility to get yourself back to the Surprise Court April 1st at 1:30. Once you are released from custody, you cannot go back to the scene where the alleged assault and disorderly conduct took place, and you also can't have contact with the alleged victim of those offenses.
So,
Go ahead.
I was a resident at home base,
Okay.
the homeless center.
Is that where this allegedly took place?
It did.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
They said come back and talk to Mike, who's in charge of the program, and see, and he might be fine with allowing me back.
Okay. Okay, I will not prohibit you from returning to the scene then. If you are otherwise authorized to return back to that location, I will not stop you from remaining there.
Right.
So feel free to go back there, talk to Mike, see if you are welcome back, but I'm not going to remove the restriction that you not have contact with the alleged victim. So if you go back there and you continue to reside there and the alleged victim in this case is also residing there, please make sure that at any given time you give yourself distance and you're not trying to contact that person.
Understood, Miss.
Okay, anything else we need to address?
So I was brought over here from the home base.
Okay.
by the police officers, but I don't have a ride back over the, back to the home base. Are you guys able to, like, give me a ride back?
I don't know the answer to that. Talk to jail staff when you get back in there. You
have
might
no
have to
cash.
ask somebody and release, but, talk to them. I'm not sure what the answer to that is.
All right, I appreciate that,
Okay,
Miss.
don't grab your paperwork. We're gonna reprint it. So go ahead and step back to your left and the officer will bring it out to you here shortly. You can go ahead and go back in there.
Go back in there? All
Yeah,
right,
he'll bring it out to you. All right, Naomi Dickmeyer to the podium in the courtroom, please. Can I have your name and date of birth?
Naomi Dickmeyer, 5187.
Thank you very much. You are here on an allegation of a new charge. That allegation is 1 count of narcotic drug possession. It is a class 4 felony. I have found probable cause to support that allegation, and I have appointed a lawyer to defend you. Your next court hearings will be a status conference March 21st, and then a preliminary hearing March 25th. They will both be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. I am releasing you on your own recognizance, so you will be released from custody. That means it will be your responsibility to get yourself to those next court hearings. Once you are released from custody, you are ordered not to return to the scene where you were arrested, and you cannot possess any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions? All right, thank you very much. You can step back and get your paperwork. No, just upload it in the ICEMAN. Oh. Okay, Joshua Keller to the podium in the courtroom, please. Is it this? Yeah. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Joshua Keller, June 25th, 1999.
Thank you very much, Mr. Keller. Okay, you have been brought before the court on an allegation of a new charge. The allegation is drug paraphernalia possession. It is a class 6 felony. I have received information from the county attorney's office that they do not wish to pursue these charges. They have indicated that they are asking that you be released. So I am going to release you on these allegations.
Go.
Stay right there. Hold on. I just want to figure out procedurally what we have to do with your release order. So hang on. Give me one second. Okay, so you are actually here on 2 different matters. So one was that new paraphernalia allegation that the county attorney has indicated that they don't intend to pursue. The second matter you were here on was a term 1 probation violation associated with that new charge. Because the county attorney is not pursuing that new charge, there will be no term 1 violation. So I am going to vacate all of the matters that you're here on. What that means is we're going to pretend like you were never brought into court. I know you were, but because you were sitting here, so I wanted to explain what was going on. You're going to be released from custody. You're not going to have any future court dates. So you're going to be out of here. You don't have to go back to court on either of these matters.
Yes, ma'am.
You're not going to have any lawyers, but once you get out, please make sure you're continuing to comply with laws so we don't have to do this again, okay?
Yeah, when I was out there, like, I would check again with my PO.
Be careful with what you say, because I don't want you to make an admission that could be used as a new charge.
I know, like, I was doing good out there, then all of a sudden, I got woken up by PD and...
Well, keep doing good, and hopefully that won't happen again, all right? All right, thanks, Mr. Keller. You can step back. So what do I have to do? He won't, everything, we could have vacated this and not had him in here, but because he was already sitting in here, I wanted to see him. You just send him, we're going to vacate it, and you just send him to release. Dismiss, vacate, right, vacate.
I can give you a copy of this letter, too, that we received.
Vacate, yeah. And do I have to do anything on these, or you'll vacate them? Okay. Okay, do we, I still don't have the warrant though, Tommy.
I know, they said they were coming in, and it's,
He's sitting in here.
I'm looking through it if we received it earlier, which is what we with it, but yeah, we just haven't received that yet. I have that note as well, if you want to attach that to the case part.
Thank you.
I have the date, but I don't have what it is or the amount. Oh, it is an FTA warrant. Okay, number 26 on the calendar, Bradley John Mertens, date of birth 11/12/79, is not in the courtroom because he was unable to function in general population due to bizarre behavior. He is here on allegations of new charges. Those allegations are 1 count of narcotic drug possession, a class 4 felony, and 1 count of drug paraphernalia possession, a class 6 felony. I have found probable cause to support those allegations and appointed a lawyer to defend him. His next court hearings will be a status conference March 21st and a preliminary hearing March 25th, both of them at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown, and I am releasing him on his own recognizance. If anything changes after I visit him cell site, I will update this reporting. We're just waiting for the warrant on the last one. Are there 2 people? Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't have that. Is that the situation? That's not what I was told. Okay, I don't have the warrant though, so we're waiting for somebody to send us the warrant.
I'm gonna clear the courtroom then, and I'll be back.
Can you come around here? Or are you adding one? Here's what I was told. Do you know what that means? Yeah. Okay.
No. They're both.
Same person. Okay. Still waiting for the warrant on him.
They're walking over the warrant.
From here or from here?
From here.
Okay. Can you grab it for me? It sounds like they're walking over his warrant right now. I didn't know if you meant MCSO or if you meant our people.
Officers bringing the warrant.
Okay. We just need some hold music to play.
Yeah, he is an HP.
Okay.
2 sergeants are here at any meeting.
Okay.
I don't know what the deal is.
I think I know a little bit, but okay.
Yeah, I don't have any paperwork on this.
He was moved from the 11 p.m., I think. Where's he walking it over from? Where's he walking it over from?
It's gonna be coming from his desk.
Ah, okay. Thank you, sir. Is there a hole in this? Thanks. Okay, Brian Placido Ortiz, if I could ask you to work your way into the courtroom, please, sir. Right here behind this podium, if you would.
Okay.
Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Brian Placido Ortiz, date of birth 1/10/02.
Thank you very much, Mr. Saucedo Ortiz. You are here this afternoon on a failure to appear warrant issued by the Desert Ridge Justice Court. That warrant was issued on a misdemeanor criminal damage allegation. You are entitled to a court-appointed lawyer for purposes of release conditions on that warrant. That lawyer, I'm appointing that lawyer for you. Your next court hearing will be an arraignment hearing March 12th. It will be at 8:30 in the morning in the Desert Ridge Justice Court. On that warrant, you have a $2,500 secured appearance bond. If you post that bond and you are released from custody, you cannot return to the scene where the underlying criminal damage offense took place if you know where that is. You also cannot possess any weapons or any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes, ma'am. I got something to say real quick.
Okay, I will tell you that you do not have a lawyer present here. Anything that you say in the courtroom can be used against you. So I am willing to allow you to talk, but I want you to proceed with extreme caution because, like I said, anything you say can be used against you.
No, I know.
Okay, go ahead.
Today I had court downtown. I went to court and then they didn't tell me I had a warrant until I got out of court, and that's when they told me I had a warrant for the charge.
Okay, thank you for that information. Anything else?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to finish up your release order and get it printed, and we'll bring it back out to you if you want to head back to your life. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, this court will stand in recess until 5 p.m.
You can be seated. Oh, fuck. All right.
Okay, this is the 8 p.m. initial appearance docket. We're going to call you each in here individually, tell you why you're here. When you come into the courtroom, there is a lectern in the center of the room. Stand behind that. Give me your full name, date of birth. I'll be giving you important information concerning your case to take with you. You don't have to try to memorize what I tell you, because before you leave the area, you'll receive a printed copy of the document that contains all the important information concerning your case to take with you. If you are someone who's here in a probation violation matter that will be heard in Maricopa County Superior Court, the Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent you at this time, so you'll have counsel at your next court appearance. If you're someone who is released, you need to make sure that you review the release order and comply with any conditions it may contain. For example, if the conditions include not returning to the scene of the alleged crime or having contact with counsel, we'll let you know when we're ready for your client. If you want to, you can stay in there if you want.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, we'll let you know when we're ready. It'll be a few minutes.
Okay.
All right. If the conditions of release that are contained in the release order include not returning to the scene of the alleged crime or having contact with alleged victims or witnesses, and you violate those conditions and you're taken into custody for that reason, you will not be released from custody easily again. All right, we will start with Tyler Kalahoftawa. I take the ones that are not eligible for bond first. Are you hearing any other cases?
No, Your Honor.
Just okay. And we'll get to that right after these. Full name, date of birth, please.
Kyler Michael Talahaftawa, 11/17/1999.
All right, you, sir, are here because you were previously charged with possession of a weapon by a prohibited person, a Class 4 felony, possession of narcotic drugs, a Class 4 felony. You failed to appear at a status conference. On August 12th, a warrant for your arrest was issued with a $500 bond. Your next court date in this matter will now be March 13th at 8:30 in Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. The reason you're before us tonight is because you were arrested earlier today and charged with possession of drug paraphernalia, Class 6 felony, and possession of a weapon by a prohibited person, a Class 4 felony. I appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you on the new case. Under Arizona law, if you are arrested, charged with a felony, and then released, which you were on the case that you bench warranted, and while you are on release, you are arrested and charged with committing a new felony, you're not entitled to have a bond set. You'll be held without bond at least until your next court date, which will be March 13th at 8:30, also in Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. And where are the release orders, by the way? The release orders that they get when they're finished in front of me? How do they get them? This defendant is going to go and sit back there. He has a release order. How does he get it? Okay, you already gave him a copy.
He's about to go.
Oh, okay, go ahead. Well, he's finished. All right. There you go. Have a seat. Miriam Gutierrez. And then it'll be Gilberto Guerrero. Full name, date of birth, please.
Miriam Gutierrez,
Date of birth.
6689.
All right, ma'am, you were previously charged with possession of dangerous drugs, a Class 4 felony, possession of drug paraphernalia, Class 6. A status conference was scheduled on September 5th. You didn't show up. They issued a warrant for your arrest with a $500 bond. Your next court date now will be, in that matter, March 13th at 8:30 in Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. And the reason that you're with us tonight is because you were arrested earlier today charged with a Class 4 felony. And you heard what I told the last defendant. Yeah, under Arizona law, if you're arrested, charged with a felony, and released, and while you were on that release, you were arrested and charged with committing a new felony, no bond can be set under Arizona law. As I said, I appointed the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Next court date will be on the same date as the other one, March 13th at 8:30, but you'll be held without bond, all right?
I have a question.
Did you get the order? Has she received it?
Yeah, these.
Has she received the order? Okay, I didn't, okay, there we go. We'll have a seat in there, please.
Okay, I just have a quick question.
Sure.
I was looking at my notes from my other case, and it said on there, I didn't know who my lawyer was, because they never showed up, so I don't even know who my lawyer was. And I didn't know, I tried calling here, but
You're
they said I
talking about the one that you bench warranted on? The case, the original arrest that you bench warranted on, that the warrant was...
Yeah, and I went to the first hearing, and then...
Okay, well, let me tell you, that doesn't change the...
No, I know.
Yeah, okay, so, anyway, and you have an attorney appointed to represent you, can explain all this to you. All right, go ahead and have a seat back there, please. Gilberto Herrera, and then it will be counsel Dwayne... It'll be the attorney's client, Mr. Glean. Full name, date of birth, please.
Gilberto Perez Herrera, June 7, 1989.
All right. You are here on 3 separate cases. You were previously charged with unlawful flight from law enforcement in a motor vehicle. You didn't show up for a status conference on October 1st. A warrant for your arrest was issued with a $250 bond.
I finished the classes, the diversion program for that.
Well, it would, okay. It really doesn't make any difference. Even if you were on a diversion program, you were on release, all right? Okay. If you're on release for a diversion program, it really doesn't make any difference. I would say probably they probably wanted to resume prosecution, and they probably sent a notice to you with the address they had for you, and you changed addresses and you didn't get it, and when you didn't show up, they issued a warrant for your arrest, $250 bond. Next court date will be March 17th at 8:30, Superior Court, downtown Phoenix. A direct complaint has been filed against you by the county attorney's office. It alleges that you committed criminal damage. Let me get that on my screen here. On July 7th of last year, unlawful flight from law enforcement, again, a Class 5 felony, and criminal damage, a misdemeanor. I appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you in that case. You were on felony release when that is alleged to have occurred, and so the direct complaint and the warrant that was issued is a no-bond warrant for the reasons I just explained to you. You were on felony release. Your next court date in this matter will be March 13th at 8:30 in Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. And then lastly, you were arrested yesterday, charged with aggravated assault on a first responder, a Class 6 felony, and resisting arrest, passive resistance, a misdemeanor. I appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you because that was a felony also, and I found that there was probable cause for it. You will be held without bond on that matter also till March 13th at 8:30, your next court date, all right? And everything I told you explained in that.
That's fine. Everything's recorded, so...
Pardon me?
I said everything was recorded, so I'm fine on
Yeah,
that one.
okay, there you go. Yeah, go ahead and see.
Thank you, sir.
All right. All right, Dwayne Glean, Okay, full name, date of birth?
Dwayne Glean, July 20, 2004.
All right, Mr. Glean, you are here because it's alleged that on January 6th of this year, you committed the offenses of conspiracy to commit armed robbery, a Class 3 felony, and aggravated assault using a simulated weapon, a Class 3 felony. You're present with counsel.
Yes, Your Honor. Jared Ahern, on behalf of Mr. Glean, who's at the podium.
All right. And go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. Brooke Dawn, on behalf of the state.
All right, Ms. Gott, do you have a position concerning any release conditions?
Yes, Your Honor. The state's asking for a $50,000 secured appearance bond. Mr. Glean allegedly was involved in a robbery, plot to steal a gun from the victim, and during that robbery, a shootout ensued in a residential neighborhood. One of the victims was shot in the face by another one of the victim's friends during the shootout. There's a strong weight of the evidence. Mr. Glean has made admissions to law enforcement. Given the fact that there was use of a firearm, we believe that Mr. Glean is a danger to the community and that that bond is appropriate.
All right, Mr. Ahern?
Yes, Your Honor. We would ask that you release on his own recognizance or that you issue a nominal bond. According to the Form 4, as the state discussed, there was a shooting. At the time of the shooting and when the initial arrests were made, my client's name wasn't brought up until late in the investigation. When his name was brought up, his mother and father voluntarily went to police. They read Miranda, and then my client made statements about what had happened that day. My client was not involved in the planning of the incident. He was merely a bystander. I think the fact that he self-surrendered should hold significant weight with the court here, as he's the only person involved that did self-surrender and make statements to police. My client also has very strong ties to the community here. He's been in Arizona since he was a child. He went to school here, graduated high school in Surprise. He currently lives with his parents. I don't think you can see them. They're actually in the hallway. Both his parents are here today as well. He works at Honeywell with his father in Arizona here. His whole family is here. I think due to the fact that he lives with his parents, they have sort of taken a position in trying to help him get this resolved. They drove him to the police station when this all happened. I think due to his ties to the community, his living situation with his family, the fact that he self-surrendered and was willing to discuss and make admissions to police should play a factor in determining his bond. We'd ask for his own recognizance or a nominal bond in the matter, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Ms. Gott, anything else?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Ahern, I believe that they're lucky that somebody wasn't shot and killed in the shootout. And I understand that your client does not have a record, and according to the interview with pretrial services, he has a good job. But the incident that occurred, I think, is sufficiently serious that under the circumstances, until they can be sure what confidence they may have that this your client will not commit any other offenses, I'm going to set a $40,000 bond. The conditions will include, this is secured appearance bond. He's not to return to the scene of the alleged crime or initiate contact with alleged victims or witnesses or have any physical contact with witnesses or no contact with any defendants or arresting officers. He's not to possess any weapons. His next court date will be March 13th at 8:30 in Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. All right, next will be Jesus Rada, then it will be Brian Meyer.
What the what?
May I be excused, Your Honor?
You may.
Thank you.
Hey, what's up? Hey, I want to welcome everybody. Do you have a CollectCallFrom?
Full name and date of birth, please.
Jesus Angel Rado, 18-1992.
All right, Mr. Rada, you are here on 5 separate cases. You are on felony probation in Maricopa County on 3 cases. A warrant for they contend you were violated the conditions of probation, and in all 3 of the cases, and on August 21st, a warrant for your arrest was issued in each of the 3 cases. One with a $1,250 bond, the other 2 $750 bonds apiece. You were also on felony probation out of Pinal County. And out of Pinal County Superior Court, a warrant for your arrest was issued on August 29th of 2023. It was a no bond warrant, and your next court date in that matter will be in Pinal County Superior Court on March 12th at 8:30. And by the way, I didn't give you the next court date on the 3 probation violation matters. That'll be March 14th at 8:30 in Superior Court here in downtown Phoenix. And then, let's see. The reason that you're here tonight is because you were arrested yesterday, charged with failing to show driver ID or driver's license, a misdemeanor, obstruction by refusing to give correct name, a misdemeanor, and possession of dangerous drugs. That's a Class 4 felony. Pretrial Services says that you are financially capable of hiring your own counsel. If anybody, if Pretrial Services determines you're financially capable of hiring counsel and one is not appointed to represent you tonight on a case that you'd be entitled to be appointed, have one appointed, at any subsequent court proceeding, you can request appointment of counsel. On the new charge, a $750 bond is set. Your next court date, March 13th at 8:30 in Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. I think that's the same date as all the probation violation matters in Maricopa County. All right, go ahead and see.
I have a question for you.
Sure.
Due to all these warrants and stuff, I've never received any information, not even a letter as to when
I will bet you that the conditions of probation that they contend were violated is a communication problem, if what you're telling me is true.
I've never gotten anyone. I've lived in the same address that I was released, and I've never received anything.
I will tell you something here. I will look at the petition to revoke, and I will tell you what it says. This is out of Maricopa County Superior Court. Petition to revoke. Possession of narcotic drugs, Class 4 felony. The condition 6, they say you absconded. You did not report as directed on August 14th of 2023. You failed to report the Adult Probation Department within 24 hours of your being sentenced. When they say they absconded, they can't find you. They don't know where you are. The next one is defendant did not receive prior approval before changing residence. He didn't reside at the residence approved by the Adult Probation Department. Your whereabouts have been unknown since August 8th of 2023. Attempts to locate you include phone calls to the phone they had for you, collateral resources, reviewed booking records, and field visits to the residence they had for you. And then there were several other, you didn't show up for drug tests either. So, as I said, good chance there was a lack of communication. That's why you didn't have any communication with them, is because they didn't know where to find you.
Okay.
All right.
Can I say one more thing?
Yes.
As for my last one for last night, they said false identification. My last name is, if you run my social, I have 2 different last names. And on that charge, they're basically being charged with not giving the right identification.
Okay, and you have an attorney appointed to represent you, I believe, on these cases. What did I say that you... Yeah, on the probation violation matters especially, talk to your attorney about it, explain, but based upon the information that I was provided in the police reports, I believe there's probable cause. All right, go ahead and have a seat, please. Brian Meyer, and then it'll be Angel Mendez. Full name, date of birth, please.
Brian Meyer, 2/15/86.
All right, Mr. Meyer, you're on felony probation here in Maricopa County. They contend you violated conditions of probation. A warrant for your arrest was issued on February 24th with a $100 bond. Your next court date will be a revocation of arraignment hearing, Superior Court, downtown Phoenix, March 14th at 8:30 in the morning. Angel Mendez.
So is this a $100 bond?
Yeah, the bond that was a $100 bond was the one that was set by the judge at the request of the probation department. Angel Mendez. Full name and date of birth, please. Did you hear me? Full name and date of birth, please.
Angel Mendez, September 9th, 2001.
All right, Mr. Mendez, you're on felony probation for 3 separate felony convictions here in Maricopa County. They contend you violated conditions of probation. A warrant for your arrest was issued in all 3 cases. They were issued on March 3rd. The one warrant was a no bond warrant. The second warrant was $50 and the third warrant was $100. The public defender's office appointed to represent you. Your next court date will be a revocation arraignment hearing, Superior Court, downtown Phoenix, March 14th at 8:30. Brittany Aguirre, and then it'll be Justin Maldonado. Full name, date of birth, please.
Brittany Brianna Mendoza, Garrett, 1094.
All right, ma'am. Hold on 1 second here. You're on felony probation here in Maricopa County. They contend you violated conditions of probation, and on February 10th, a warrant for your arrest was issued with a $100 bond. Your next court date will be March 14th at 8:30 in Superior Court in downtown Phoenix at your revocation arraignment hearing. If you bond out, make sure you show up, all right?
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Justin Maldonado, and then it will be Christopher Guerrero. Full name, date of birth?
August 23rd, Justin Maldonado.
Date of birth?
August 23rd, 1993.
All right, Mr. Maldonado, you are on felony probation, 3 separate felony convictions here in Maricopa County. They contend you violated conditions of probation, and on January 14th, a warrant for your arrest was issued in all 3. 2 of them had $500 bonds. 1 had a $50 bond. Your next court date in these matters will be in Superior Court, downtown Phoenix on March 14th at 8:30. You also have a child support arrest warrant that was issued on December 11th for non-payment of child support. The warrant requires that you post a purge in the amount of $500 cash. Your next court date in that matter will be March 14th at 10 a.m. in Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. okay? And your orders, you've got your order, have a seat in it. Christopher Guerrero, and then it will be Patrick McClanahan. Full name, date of birth?
Patricio Guerrero, 3/17/1990.
All right, Mr. Guerrero, or Guerrero, rather. You're on felony probation here in Maricopa County. They contend you violated conditions of probation. A warrant for your arrest was issued on December 20th with a $250 bond. Your next court date in that matter will be on March 14th at 8:30 Superior Court, downtown Phoenix. The reason you're here is because you were arrested yesterday, charged with possession of narcotic drugs, a Class 4 felony, possession of dangerous drugs, a Class 4 felony. A $2,500 bond is set in that matter. Your next court date, Public Defender's Office appointed to represent you. Next court date, March 13th at 8:30, Superior Court, downtown Phoenix. Patrick McClanahan, then it will be Leatrice Nacho. Full name, date of birth?
Patrick McClanahan, 12/27/63.
All right. It is alleged, sir, that on February 28th of this year, you committed the offense of aggravated assault with a deadly or dangerous instrument, a Class 4 felony, and one count of carrying a weapon in the commission of a felony, a Class 6 felony. Pretrial services says you're financially capable of hiring your own counsel. A secured appearance bond in the amount of $2,500 is set. Your next court date will be March 13th at 8:30 Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. You're not to have any contact with alleged victims or witnesses. All right?
Good evening. What's your name?
Colton, I
Right. You were on probation at Tucson City Court on a charge of interfering with domestic violence, interfering with judicial proceedings. There's a petition to revoke your probation alleging, number one, that on or about March 5th, you consumed or possessed alcohol. Number two, on or about February 28th and March 4th, you engaged in threatening, abusive, coercive, or violent behavior. Three, on or about February 18th, March 4th, and 5th, you had contact with the victim without written approval of the Adult Probation Department. And number four, on or about February 18th, you resided with an intimate partner without prior written approval from the Adult Probation Department. We will note that you were arraigned and will enter denials. And We're gonna set bond in the amount of $2,499. I'm appointing the city public defender to represent you. Next court date will be a video review, March 26th at 1:30. If you bond out, it will still be the same date and time, but you show up in person, March 26th, 1:30. You're excused.
Sorry? No, you got, it's 24.95. Oscar, here's the first one. Take a seat first. Be quiet.
Just to let you know that we received my housing director that they called it over here to the prison. I mean to the jail that I got housing now with Primavera. So, just so you know. Thank you.
Hello, what's your name?
My name is Joe Ricoca.
Okay. Just a minute. Where's the, what I've got is his case. Where's the public defender? This is number 9. Joe, okay.
I am with Joe's good.
What's your last name?
Castro.
Oh, okay, you're right. Just a minute. All right, you've got several matters here in a couple different courts. You've got a warrant for trespassing and possession of drug paraphernalia on a 2025 case. This is in Pima County Justice Court. You've got another warrant from Pima County Justice Court that's a trespassing. Another one, another trespassing. You got another one from 2023 trespassing, couple failures to appear. And you've got a new case. You were charged today with disorderly conduct, trespassing, and possession of drug paraphernalia. On each of your justice court matters, I'm going to hold you on, there are 5 of them, $200 bonds, each one. You're going to be seen on Monday, the 10th at 1 p.m. on video, and you will be represented by Anna Dennis as your attorney. Okay, so let's approve these.
Mass, Your Honor. Just 2 days ago, I was released from here and all this was quashed.
I can't
And
answer any questions for you, sir. You have an attorney, talk to her about it, okay? Because I don't, all I know is what I see in front of me. I don't know what happened 2 days ago.
yeah.
Have a seat of this.
We're not done. Okay, you've got some Tucson City Court matters as well. Got a drug paraphernalia case from last year.
That's gonna go.
Failure to appear. And you've got a trespassing case. This one is from 2023. Failure to appear.
Been gone.
On your city court cases, I am going to, all previous conditions of release that were previously imposed still apply. I'm going to release you on this with a court date of April 18th at 9 o'clock. I do note that you're being held on the justice court matters. And we're going to appoint the city public defender on these city cases. Okay, now we're done. You're excused.
So what is it that happens now?
You're gonna be seen on Monday on your justice court matters. You're gonna be seen in April on your city court matters. You're excused.
So
One more question. You're excused.
I'll be released and I'll be coming back on Monday. Is that what I'm getting?
Get paperwork.
Go get paperwork. Laura, have a seat down now.
Dave.
Yes.
Oh, how are you?
Hello, what's your name?
My name is Cheyenne Day, sir.
Day. Okay.
Yes, my girlfriend,
No, stop.
Okay.
Don't talk about your case. Day is number 3. All right, Mr. Day, you're charged with disorderly conduct and assault with injury. I'm going to order that you not commit any acts of domestic violence. That is your condition of release, along with don't violate any state, local, or federal law. I'm going to release you on this matter, and your next court date, this is Pima County Justice Court, March 17th at 10:30 a.m.
Okay. Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Hello, what's your name?
Godoy.
Godoy. Okay. Okay, Mr. Godoy, you've got cases in 2 different courts. You've got a couple of warrants. Actually, let's see. You got a couple of warrants in Pima County Justice Court. One is failure to appear on a shoplifting case. Well, both of them are shoplifting cases. And you've got a new charge also in Pima County Justice Court, and that also is shoplifting.
All right.
So the 2 warrants bonds are set in the amount of $500 a piece, and Jill Gukin is appointed to represent you. You're going to be seen on video on Monday at 1:00 p.m.
All right.
Your new case with Justice Court. That bond is also set at $500. You're ordered not to return the location of the alleged incident, no contact with victims, Joe Gukin is appointed on that one as well, same court date, March 10th, 1 p.m. on video.
All right.
Now,
Sounds good.
you also have some Tucson City Court cases. 2024, you were charged with shoplifting and failure to appear. 2021, you were charged with 2 counts of disorderly conduct and assault. And 2019, you were charged with theft, drug dealing, and failure to appear. On the newest matter, we'll enter not guilty plea. We're going to appoint the city public defender on all of these. Bonds on your city court case total $500. We're going to set a video review for you, and that will be March 14th at 1:45. If you bond out, April 7th at 9 o'clock in person.
All right. Sounds good.
You're excused.
Thank you.
Hello, what's your name?
Hector Rayover.
Mr. Hoover, you were charged with domestic violence, disorderly conduct. I'm going to order that you not commit acts of domestic violence. Don't violate any state, local, or federal law. You are released on this matter with a court date of March 17th at 10:30 a.m., and that will be at Pima County Justice Court. You're excused.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hello, what is your name?
Troy Joaquin.
I'm sorry, say again.
Troy Joaquin.
Thank you. You have warrants on 3 counts of theft. These are in South Tucson Municipal Court. Also, a charge of failure to obey the lawful order of a law enforcement officer.
Yeah, I was in court.
Don't talk about your case. Or were you going to tell me why you didn't come to court?
I was in prison, actually.
You were in prison.
Yeah, I missed that September 4th date.
When did you go to prison?
Earlier that year.
I'm sorry?
Earlier that year.
What year?
Yeah, last year,
When last year, sir?
September,
And when did you get out?
after that court date,
Sir, when did you get out of prison?
after September 29th.
Let's see. Bond is set in the amount of 500. You're going to be seen on Monday, 10 o'clock a.m., March 5th. I'm sorry, March. Vaughn will be representing you. You're excused.
Okay. Good. Going up.
Hey, dog. Hey. No, hey, what's his name? Mr. Masters?
He's coming. Good. Yeah.
You go right to the You can see.
Hello, what's your name?
Eric Masters.
Mr. Masters, you have a new case in Pima County Justice Court on shoplifting charge. We're going to order that you not return to any Walmart store and do not have contact with the alleged victim, no alcohol or illegal drugs. I am going to release you on this case with a court date of March 17th at 8:30 at Pima County Justice Court. You also have several cases in Tucson City Court.
Yes, sir.
So you were charged with smoking marijuana in public and possession of or a drug violation in a drug-free school zone. This is from March.
It's new, I think, sir.
Well, this date is wrong.
Yes, sir.
So that'll have to be amended. Those are the charges. Not guilty. Reckless burning and failure to appear. This is from January 15th and January 28th. Not guilty. October 4th of last year, you cited for 2 counts of threats and intimidation. You failed to appear in November of that year, last year. Not guilty. July 4th of 2023, trespassing and subsequent failure to appear. Not guilty. And June 25th of last year, disorderly conduct, a couple failures to appear. Not guilty on all of those. We're gonna order that you not contact any alleged victims, stay away from each incident location, do not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. The bond is set in the amount of 500. The city public defender is appointed. Video review will be March 14th, March 45, Tucson City Court. If you post bond, it'll be April 7th at 2 p.m. You in court in person.
Okay, so I'm staying in jail for $500, 400, something like that.
If you don't post the bond, yes, you will stay in jail. If you do post the bond, you'll be released. Okay.
I don't have it, sir.
I guess you'll be there until at least until March 14th. You're excused.
January, February, March. So 3 months I'll be here?
1 week, sir.
Okay.
All right. You're excused.
Oh, excuse me. Oh, oh,
Hello, what's your name?
Kyrie Hayes.
Hayes?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Three Hayes. 102. Here it is. Okay, you are charged with trespassing and possession of drug paraphernalia. This is from today. We'll order that you not return to the location of the alleged incident and don't have any contact with the alleged victim. No alcohol or illegal drugs. Let me double check something right quick. Okay, looks like you also have a probation matter going on in Maricopa County. On your city court matters, bond is set in the amount of 500, and the city public defender is appointed, and we're going to give you a video review date of March 14th at 1:45. If you're released prior to that, April 7th, 9:30 in person, and these are in Tucson City Court. And that's it. You're excused.
Thank you.
You're with that phone is the first trick is my
Hello, what's your name?
Evie Jimenez.
Okay. Okay, you're charged with domestic violence, disorderly conduct, and domestic violence criminal damage. So we're going to order that you not commit any acts of domestic violence. Okay. Okay, you're released on the condition that you not, commit any acts of domestic violence and don't violate any state, local, or federal law. I'm releasing you. Your court date at Tucson City Court is April 8th at 1:30. You're.
Have a seat with later. You're sitting at work for
14 days.
Hello, what is your name?
Ligia Samantha Martinez Picado.
Say your first name again.
Ligia.
Okay. All right, so you're charged with domestic violence assault. And see what else is there. This is. Okay, we're gonna order that you not commit any acts of domestic violence, don't violate any state, local, or federal law. You are released from custody. Your court date at Tucson City Court is April 8th at 1:30 p.m. You're excused. Hello, what is your name?
I'm Alexis. What do we got?
Okay, one moment.
All three guys.
Okay, you're charged from today with domestic violence, criminal damage. That you not commit any acts of domestic violence. Don't have contact of any kind with Omar Cunningham and stay away from his home and workplace. No contact means no face-to-face contact, no calling, texting, emailing, using letters or notes, social media, or third parties to get rid of him. Stay away from his home and workplace, except that you get a one-time return visit with a police escort to get your personal belongings. You also have a case from 2021. You were charged with obstruction and refusing to give your true name, and you never appeared in court on that. So enter a not guilty plea on that one. Why did you come to court?
Sir, to be honest, I didn't even know about that charges. I didn't know about that.
You what?
I didn't even know about that, sir.
You didn't know about it?
No, sir.
Well, you apparently signed the ticket, so I guess you did know about it. If I release you, are you going to come to court and take care of these cases?
Of course.
All right. I'm going to release you with the conditions that I've mentioned, and give you a court date at Tucson City Court of April 8th at 1:30 p.m.
Thank you.
Okay, you're excused.
Thank you, sir. Whatever.
Hello, what is your name?
Hector Campa.
Yeah. Let's see what we've got here. You've got both misdemeanor cases and felony case charges. Felonies are possession of narcotic drugs and possession of paraphernalia. Looks like you also have a probation hold, so regardless, you're going to remain in custody on that. In order that you not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, do not go back to the location of the alleged incident. The county, and you qualify apparently for the STEPS program. I'm going to read a statement to you about that. Okay, you may be eligible to participate in a diversion program called STEPS that requires you to participate in a plan specific for your needs, for a short time. If you choose to participate and complete the program, these felony drug accusations in your arrest report will be permanently dismissed without you ever being formally charged. Are you interested in getting, this is what's on this printed page. This does not necessarily mean that you're going to be released since you have the other hold. Are you interested in getting released from jail custody now and learning more about the STEPS program at your next hearing?
Yes.
Okay. Now, the county attorney is, since you're being held, county attorney is asking on this case for a $1,000 bond. Defense wish to have input on that.
Yes, Your Honor, we would ask that the court impose a nominal bond, given the probation holding, given the fact that these are just personal possession charges. We would just ask the court impose a $50 bond for time credit.
Does the state wish to be heard?
Your Honor, nothing further.
Well, my concern is these cases that we haven't gotten to yet with the city of Tucson. You seem to have a rather poor history of showing up in court. So I'm going to set bond in the amount of $1,000 on this felony matter. And you have a court date of March 17th at 1:30. Steps court is also March 17th. That's at 9 o'clock. And do not possess any alcohol or illegal drugs or return to the location of the alleged incident. Now, getting to the misdemeanors in Tucson City Court. Today you were cited for trespassing and possession of paraphernalia. And will enter not guilty plea on those charges. You have a 2020 case, shoplifting, contributing and failing to appear in court. Last time you didn't come to court was last month. Another case in 2020, shoplifting and contributing, and again, the failure to appear. Another case in 2020, shoplifting and trespassing, and failure to appear. And the last item is from last year, shoplifting, obstruction, and possession of paraphernalia, and failure to appear. Bond is set in the amount of 500 on the city matters. Don't go back to the incident locations, no contact with victims. City public defender appointed. And video review is scheduled for March 14th, 1:45. Potentially, if you're released on everything, we'll set an out of custody date for April 7th at 2 o'clock. Okay, that's it. You're excused.
Thank you very much.
You can change it in there. Yeah. Okay. All right. Where was I? Just giving you this. I was giving you this. Hello. What's your name? You take the what?
Gene, happy hermano.
Hold on. I'm sorry. Take what?
The rubber band.
Oh.
Let me grab that for you in a second.
You know rubber bands over there. Okay. All right, sir. I'm sorry. I was distracted. What's your name again?
Gene, happy hermano.
Okay. All right. Let's see what we've got. Okay, you're charged with aggravated driving under the influence wrong way and driving under the influence with your license suspended for a previous DUI. And I know you are on probation in Maricopa County for a DUI. The state's asking me to hold you on a $25,000 bond. We'll hear from defense counsel.
Your Honor, we would ask that you release him to pretrial services supervision. They scored him as a 1. Pretrial services was able to confirm housing and employment for him. He is employed as a registered behavioral health tech. Given that and given the monitoring that pretrial can impose, we would ask that the court release him to pretrial services supervision.
All right, thank you. We'll hear from the state.
Your Honor, the state's bond request is based off the court did note being on probation for a DUI. This is also a wrong way DUI, which it can be fatal in many situations. And based on the interim complaint, it looks like the defendant drove nearly 7 miles the wrong way on the interstate. So given that, the state is requesting the bond.
All right, thank you. I'm going to order that you not possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. Don't drive without a valid license. Contact your assigned probation officer on your first working day following your release from custody. I'm going to set bond in the amount of $2,500 and appoint the public defender to represent you. Your court date is March 17th at 1:30. You're excused.
Hello. Hey,
Hello, what's your name?
I'm Anthony.
Last name?
Leha.
Julia, you charged with aggravated assault with a dangerous instrument. Order that you not have contact with the alleged victim. Stay away from that person's home and workplace. Do not possess any firearms or any other weapons, no alcohol or illegal drugs. State's asking me to hold you on a $5,000 bond. We'll hear from defense counsel.
Your Honor, we would ask that you release him to pretrial services supervision. This is his first arrest, felony arrest of any kind. And I understand the allegations in this case, however, the alleged dangerous weapon was wrong. Given that, we would ask you give him an opportunity on pretrial services release.
Okay. Well, a rock can be a deadly weapon. We'll hear from the state.
Your Honor, the state's bond recommendation is based on the defendant having an active NVCA flag as well as the nature of this offense. The victims in this case were completely minding their own business. This was a random attack on people who were not doing anything whatsoever, were not threatening the defendant. So based on the nature of that offense, the state is requesting a bond.
Bond is set in the amount of $5,000 with the conditions that I mentioned. You're going to be seen on March 17th at 1:30, and the public defender is appointed to represent you. You're excused.
What's the thing? Okay. Hi.
Ortega.
I have to.
Yes.
Yes, you have to. I don't want to. Get out. That's in the drugs. What's the guy's shift?
Hello. What is your name?
Diga Maria.
Say again. I can't hear her.
Tell me your name.
Ortega Maria.
Spell your last name. Is she muted?
No, Your Honor. That's the right way to spell your last name.
And you can spell it for what I was spelled.
I don't understand what she said.
She said Ortega Maria.
Okay. Does she also go by Maria Sevilla?
No.
He said no.
Can the jail confirm what her actual and true name is and her date of birth?
The jail has her as Maria Ortega.
Her full name is Maria Guadalupe Ortega. Date of birth, April 18th, 1980.
Okay. Because I have an interim for a Maria Sevilla with a date of birth April 18th of 1976. Are these supposed to be the same person?
What? An alias. Alias? Okay.
Maria Ortega is charged with possession of narcotic drug, cocaine, and promoting prison contraband.
Somebody else's footsteps is what she did.
And the state is recommending that I release her to pretrial services. Sevilla is charged with theft of means of transportation.
But you went.
And the state is recommending release to pretrial services. This is does the state have the belief that Sevilla and Ortega are in fact the same person that's appearing before me now?
Your Honor, the clerk from my office did find Maria Sevilla as a also known as name for Miss Ortega.
All right.
But that is all the information that I have as to the true name.
Okay. Is she also facing another charge other than the ones that I've mentioned already?
No, Your Honor, the only information that for charges that we have is the theft of means and the drug count.
With regard to the STEPS program, I'm going to read a statement to you. It'll be followed up with a question. Please answer yes or no. You may be eligible to participate in a diversion program called STEPS that requires you to participate in a plan specific to your needs for a short time. If you choose to participate and complete the program, these felony drug accusations in your arrest report will be permanently dismissed without you ever being formally charged. Are you interested in getting released from jail custody now and learning more about the STEPS program at your next hearing? Was that a yes? Counsel, you're going to have to repeat to me what she's saying because I can't understand her.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I was just confirming with her about the program.
Okay. Did she answer yes or no? Or nothing?
She nodded her head and said yes.
Thank you. Okay, under the name Ortega, we are going to release you to the supervision of pretrial services and place you in the STEPS. program. That hearing is scheduled for March 17th at 9. No alcohol or drugs. Don't return to the incident location. Hold on a minute. We want the other. Here it is. That steps program. Okay, steps is March 17th at 9. Huh? I thought we were supposed to set it for the 14th. The 13th. Okay. March 13th at 9. And preliminary hearing, does the defense waive time for that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, preliminary hearing will be April 21st. Thank you. And that'll be at 1:30. The public defender is appointed. The reason I asked about if there was another charge, because on these conditions of release, there is another charge listed, which is unlawfully administering intoxicating liquors, narcotic drug, or dangerous drug. This is
I'm sorry?
that is a charge.
I saw that on the pretrial services workup. The jail said that is what she's booked under. I don't think that was supported by any interim complaint that I saw. So we would ask that charge be dismissed.
What's the state's position?
Your Honor, I did not see an interim complaint with that charge either. I did note it on the pretrial services report, but I have no information about that charge.
We'll dismiss it without prejudice.
Thank you.
Okay, April. Okay. It's that one. The theft, it means no contact with victims, stay away from the incident location, no alcohol or drugs. And is that going to be also in April, or is that the sooner date? All right, March 27th, release to pretrial services, cooperate with them. Public defender appointed. And let's approve that one. And then okay, that's it. You're excused.
Preventive.
Are we going to be seeing Jacopicio?
Your Honor, the jail indicated he is not available.
He's not available. Okay, thank you. All right, we'll continue him till tomorrow morning then.
All right. Which number is the attorney on?
Right here.
No, which number?
Number 13.
All right, okay. You can be seated. Okay, this is the 8 p.m. initial appearance docket. I'm going to call you all in here individually, tell you why you're here. There's a lectern in the center of the room. Stand behind that, give me your full name and date of birth. I'll be giving you important information about your case you need to take with you. You don't have to try to memorize what I tell you, because before you leave the area, you'll receive a printed copy of a document that contains all the important information concerning your case to take with you. If you're someone who's here in a probation violation matter that will be heard in Maricopa County Superior Court, the Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent you at this time, so you'll have counsel at your next court appearance. There we go. If you're someone who is released, you need to make sure that you review the conditions that may be contained in your release order and comply with them. For example, if they include not returning to the scene of the alleged crime or having contact with alleged victims or witnesses, and you violate those conditions and you're taken into custody for that reason, you will not be released from custody easily again. All right, we will start. Hold on, let me get my docket here. This will be Ryland Dutra, and then it will be Gabriel Chavez. Full name, date of birth, please.
Ryland Dutra, 09/20/1993.
All right, Mr. Dutra, you were arrested yesterday, charged with possession of narcotic drugs, a Class 4 felony, and possession of drug paraphernalia. It should have been a Class 6 felony. Public Defender's Office appointed to represent you. Your problem is this. In Arizona, if you were arrested, charged with a felony, and released, which you were as of yesterday, and while you were on that release, you were arrested and charged with committing a new felony, you're not entitled to have a bond set. You'll be held without bond at least until your next court date, which will be March 13th at 8:30 in Superior Court in downtown Phoenix.
Your Honor.
Yes. Now, you've got a very compelling story, I'm sure, but if you were arrested, charged with a felony, and released, did that happen? Yes or no?
A year ago. Yeah.
All right. Now, and you were arrested yesterday and charged with committing a new felony, and that's why you're here tonight, right? Okay. Once those facts exist, I don't have any discretion. The law says I cannot release you. I cannot set a bond. Now, you tell me why you think your situation is different.
I was just going to speak about the program that I was released into after last year's situation.
Well, listen, I hope you get back into it. I hope it is successful. But our legislature got tired of people being arrested, released, released. Their simple solution was when you're arrested and released and you get arrested again, you're not entitled to be released.
Yes, sir.
All right, there you go. Now, you have an attorney. I think I appointed counsel for you in this case. Talk to your attorney about it, but I don't have any discretion. All right? All right, Gabriel Chavez, and then it'll be Christopher Alexander. Full name, date of birth?
Gabriel Chavez, Lopez Antonio, 7/1901.
All right, Mr. Chavez, you were arrested earlier today, charged with possession of narcotic drugs, a Class 4 felony, and possession of a weapon in the commission of a drug offense, a Class 4 felony. I appoint the Public Defender's Office. Your situation is the same as the previous defendants. You were released on January 24th on the felony of unlawful flight from law enforcement in a motor vehicle, a Class 5 felony, and you were arrested earlier today and charged with possession of narcotic drugs, a Class 4 felony, and possession of a weapon in the commission of a drug offense, a Class 4 felony. I appoint Public Defender's Office to represent you. Because you were on felony release, you will be held without bond. Your next court date will be March 13th at 8:30. All right? Let me get... counsel, I'll get to you in just a few minutes here. Alexander, Christopher Alexander, then it'll be Joshua King. Christopher Alexander. Alexander King, or Joshua King, actually. I'll take you after this next case, counsel. Did you find anybody? I'm going to take, well, I'm waiting here. Let me get down to where we were. Omega McDaniels. Full name, date of birth, please.
Omega McDaniels, 02/15/2004.
Okay, present with counsel.
Yes, good evening, Your Honor. Brad Smith for Mr. McDaniels.
All right. Mr. McDaniels, you were arrested earlier today, charged with possession of possessing a prohibited weapon style in a Class 4 felony, disorderly conduct with a weapon, a Class 6 felony, and possession of a deadly or defaced weapon, a Class 6 felony. The county attorney's office, does the county attorney's office know counsel was appearing?
Yes, Your Honor, stated present.
Oh, okay. You have a position concerning, I didn't realize that you were on the line. You have a position concerning any release conditions for Mr. McDaniels.
Yes, Your Honor. Well, did Your Honor find probable cause?
Tell me why you think there isn't.
The state believes there is probable cause.
Pardon me?
The state believes that there is probable cause.
All right.
No, the defense believes.
Okay, you'll have an opportunity, just a minute.
Yeah.
Well, let me hear the defense argument first. I've read I read probably before I took the bench about 20 Form 4s. I don't have a specific recollection of Mr. McDaniels, but counsel, go ahead and tell me if that's your position, that there's no the Form 4 doesn't state probable cause. Go ahead.
So, Your Honor, I do stipulate that there is probable cause for the Class 6 disorderly conduct. He admits it's his gun. Gun is the same caliber as casings that are found at the scene. I think that establishes probable cause. However, there is no probable cause for the Class 4 or the Class 6 defaced weapon. The Form 4 says, quote, due to Omega owning the vehicle and being responsible for the contents of the vehicle, he was charged with the Class 4 transporting a defaced weapon. Well, that's not the state of the law, Your Honor. It's just because it's in his vehicle does not make him therefore responsible, particularly when there's multiple other people in the vehicle. There has to be some showing of knowledge in order to establish a constructive possession. You can't just say it's in the vehicle, therefore he's responsible. There's got to be possession. And so there's none of that in the Form 4. Nothing ties it to Mr. McDaniels. So the Class 4 and the second Class 6, there's no probable cause for.
All right, Ms. Stetson?
Yes, Your Honor. There's no indication that the other individuals were actually in the car. When law enforcement arrived, all the individuals were standing outside of the car. So there's nothing to say that the other individuals were in the car, Your Honor. The car does belong to the suspect. The weapon the counsel speaking with does say in the Form 4 that the officer did attempt to do a record check on the firearm, but was unable to due to the firearm serial being defaced. Based on the state's reading of the Form 4, there's no indication that there was anyone else inside the vehicle other than the suspect, who was identified as the driver. So state does believe that there is probable cause on both charges. Additionally, the other charge is a prohibited weapon. It is the state believes it was a Glock that had a switch installed on it, which then makes the firearm an automatic weapon. So, Your Honor, the state does believe that there is probable cause.
All right, thank you. Counsel, by the way, let me ask you, Ms. Stetson, does the county attorney's office have a position concerning any release conditions?
Yes, Your Honor, the state is requesting bail based on the fact that there was calls to 911 that the suspect there was a firearm being shot fired off in the area. That is obviously a huge risk to the community, Your Honor. Additionally, Your Honor, the suspect is allegedly in possession of two weapons that are he's illegally possessing, well, both he's illegally possessing, because the firearm serial number was defaced. Additionally, Your Honor, the Glock switch is a prohibited weapon under the statute, based solely on the fact that the switch was installed. So, Your Honor, the state is asking for bond to be set in the amount of $25,000 secured. State is asking for, obviously, no possession of any firearms, do not return to the scene of the location, no contact with witnesses or law enforcement involved in the case, and then the standard condition of no consume alcohol or use illegal substances.
All right,
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Smith, maybe I can save us some time here. I believe there is probable cause, but I'm going to follow the recommendation of the pretrial services. Your client doesn't have any criminal history. I'm going to release him on supervised release. And the arguments concerning lack of probable cause you can make at the next court. His next court date will be March 21st at 8:30 in Superior Court in downtown Phoenix, and the supervised release paperwork. There'll be a number for the pretrial services on the documents, and within a few days of his release, he's to call and touch base with pretrial services. All right.
All right. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, we will, I think that we have, he should have the release order already. Does he have it?
No.
Okay. Okay, after Mr. McDaniels, let me see where we were when we got kind of sidetracked here. I can't remember. Did you guys ever find anybody that I called, the two names I called? Who's that? Who do I just want to see the people that are next on the list that I called two names and nobody came in. I can't remember where we stopped. We have like 40 or 50 different cases in here tonight.
Next is going to be Alexander.
It's going to be who?
Number 1, Alexander.
Ah, there we go. Okay. Christopher Alexander. Oh, that, okay.
My apologies. Number 18, King.
Is that, okay. Which one are we on now?
Number 18, 19.
All right. Full name, date of birth.
Joshua Lee King, August 29, 1991.
All right. Mr. King, you are here on 3 separate cases. You were previously charged, and these are all in Peoria Municipal Court. You were charged with resisting arrest, a misdemeanor, urban camping, a misdemeanor. A hearing was set on the resisting arrest on March 6th, on the urban camping on September 25th. When you didn't appear, they issued a warrant for your arrest in each case with a $250 bond. Your next court date in these matters will be March 11th at 9 a.m. In Peoria Municipal Court. Then you're on probation also in Peoria Municipal Court. They contend you violated conditions of probation. And on September 25th, the warrant for your arrest was issued with a $250 bond. Also, your next court date in that matter will be March 11th at 9 a.m. also. So you got 3 cases, 3 times $250. All your court dates, next court day will be March 11th. All right, there you go. Go step right over there. Okay, where were we on that now? Okay, here we go. Brian Bonner or Bauer. Then it'll be Joshua Weibark. Full name, date of birth.
Brian Eugene Bauer, May 14th, 1989.
All right, Mr. Bauer, you are on felony probation in Pinal County Superior Court. They contend you violated conditions of probation, and they issued warrants for your arrest on March 4th. These are no bond warrants, which they can do on felony convictions. And I affirm what the judge, who knows more about your case in Pinal County than I do, I affirm the no bond hold on you. Your next court date will be in Pinal County Superior Court on March 12th at 8:30, and if you can't, you won't be able to bond out because there's no bond, and so the Pinal County Sheriff's Office will pick you up in time to make that hearing, all right?
Your Honor, I was in custody at that time.
And I don't know anything about that. You can
I've
tell.
been incarcerated since January 4th.
Okay, and I don't know anything about that. And you have an attorney, right, that represented you on some of these things? Well, the thing is, if you let somebody know about it, if that's the situation, so they can do something. But I don't know anything about the case except that you were picked up or taken into custody on this case. Warrants were issued on March 4th, no bond warrants, and I don't know anything more about you or your case, all right? There you go. All right, Joshua Weibark, and then it'll be Brian McDonough. Full name, date of birth?
6/18/86, Josh Allen Weibark.
All right, Mr. Weibark, you are on felony probation, two separate felony convictions here in Maricopa County. They contend you violated conditions of probation. On January 29th, a warrant for your arrest was issued in each case with a $750 bond. Your next court date will be, in each of those cases, your revocation arraignment hearing, Superior Court, downtown Phoenix, on March 14th at 8:30. Brian McDonough, then it will be Kyle Leathers. Full name, date of birth?
Brian Christopher McDonough, November 29th, 1990.
All right, Mr. McDonough, you apparently are on felony probation in Maricopa County for two separate felony convictions. A warrant for your arrest was issued in each case for violating conditions of probation on February 27th. One had a $5,000 bond on the warrant, and the other had a $100 bond. Your next court date will be March 14th at 8:30 in Superior Court, downtown Phoenix. Kyle Leathers, and then it'll be Justin Butler. Full name, date of birth?
Kyle Young Leathers, 10/25/85.
All right, you, sir, are here because you were, let me get this stuff up in front of me. You were arrested earlier today, charged with possession of narcotic drugs, a Class 4 felony, and possession of drug paraphernalia, Class 6. I appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. You also are on felony probation, two separate cases, and the probation department has requested that a hold be placed on you, well, because each of your arrest today constitutes a violation of the conditions of probation. I set a $250 bond in each case. That's a total of $750 on the new charge and on the two probation violation matters. Your next court date will be March 14th at 8:30. Justin Butler, then it'll be Nan Kauchak. Full name, date of birth, please?
Justin Butler, May 10th, 1988.
All right. You were previously charged with possession of drug paraphernalia, Class 6 felony, and 2 counts of possession of narcotic drugs, Class 4 felonies.
Who, me?
You are Kalchak? No, you are. What's your last name?
Butler, B-U-T-L-E-R.
I apologize. I thought I was Kalchak. You're Brian. Are you Justin Elliott?
Yes.
Justin Elliott Butler,
Right.
and you are on felony probation. And a warrant for your arrest was issued for violating the conditions of probation on February 5th. It was a no bond warrant. So you'll be held without bond, at least until your next court date, which will be your revocation arraignment hearing on March 14th at 8:30. Yeah, Nan Kalchak, and then it will be Cullen Nelson. Full name, date of birth?
Nan Kochak, 6/14/97.
All right, ma'am, you're on felony probation here in Maricopa County. You were convicted of possession of drug paraphernalia and narcotic drugs. And on November 27th, actually, it's not on probation. These are new charges, and a status conference was scheduled on that date. When you didn't show up, they issued a warrant for your arrest with a $750 bond. Your next court date now will be March 13th at 8:30 in Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. And your order's right here. He's handing it to you. Cullen Nelson. And then it will be Kayla Wingo. Full name, date of birth?
Cullen John Nelson, 4/23/96.
All right, Mr. Nelson. You were on felony probation in Maricopa County, and a revocation arraignment hearing was set on those 2 cases on November 1st of last year. When you didn't show up, they issued a warrant for your arrest with a $500 bond. Your next court date in those 2 matters will be March 14th at 8:30. You have a case pending, which is possession of narcotic drugs, Class 4 felony, and a warrant for your arrest was issued when you didn't show up on November 12th with a $500 bond. The next court date will be March 13th at 8:30, Superior Court downtown Phoenix. And then, let me see here, the reason you are here is because you were arrested yesterday, charged with possession of drug paraphernalia, a Class 1 misdemeanor in this case, and failing to obey a police officer's instructions, a misdemeanor. I set a $500 bond in each of those 2 cases. Your next court date, your next court date on your new arrest will be in Kyrene Justice Court, and that will be, let me see here, that will be on March 12th at 8:30. And if you're in custody and there are any conflicts with dates, we will make sure that you don't get bench warranted anywhere. And sometimes that happens, and it's no problem. We get them straightened out. All right? The order's right here.
Thank you.
Kayla Wingo, and then it'll be Jacob Hood. Full name, date of birth?
Kayla Nicole Wingo, 7/16/1989.
All right, Miss Wingo, you were arrested, let me see here, yesterday, charged with possession of drug, wait a minute, let me get the right case up here. There we go. Yesterday, charged with the following 3 offenses: aggravated assault causing serious injury, a Class 3 felony, aggravated assault with a dangerous instrument, a Class 3 felony, and misdemeanor assault. I appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. I set bond in the amount of $2,500. Conditions of your release, should you bond out, are not to return to the scene of the alleged crime or have contact with alleged victims or witnesses, and if an order of protection is issued and you're served with a copy, you must comply with its terms. Your next court date will be March 13th at 8:30 in Superior Court, downtown Phoenix.
Your Honor, the place that it happened at, my husband doesn't live there. He was visiting me there. So he won't be there.
Well, okay, I don't know that, it doesn't tell me any of that information, and it wouldn't be a problem, but if you go back and there's a problem, and you get arrested, you'll have, I don't know how you're gonna explain that, all right?
Your Honor, the state is on the phone, on the line.
Oh, yes, all right, thank you, I apologize. I saw what your recommendation was. Please, go ahead.
Your Honor, the state is asking for the bond to be set in the amount of $50,000 secured based on the allegations provided in the Form 4, Your Honor. It's alleged that the suspect stabbed the victim in the shoulder, Your Honor. He did require stitches. Also, Your Honor, this does appear to be a domestic violence case, as the suspect just indicated that the victim is her husband. The state also spoke with the primary officer on this, and he also indicated that this is a domestic violence situation. So at minimum, Your Honor, the state is also requesting, along with the bond, the electronic monitoring be set up before the suspect is released. Thank you.
All right. You know, I don't have a problem modifying this, but let me tell you, if what she told me is correct, is it your residence primarily? Is that it?
He doesn't live there. We don't live together. It's my residence.
I will take her word for that for the purposes of the conditions that I set. If he comes back and you can get an order of protection against him also, and from what I can see in this case, but I think you should make sure that you don't have any contact with him, and
yes, sir.
And I don't know what else to tell you. I take your word for the fact that it is your residence, and I'm going to. The order will still state that you're not to go back there, but if nobody's there, I guess there isn't a problem. All right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Good luck.
Okay. Thank you.
Angel Luna, and then it'll be Jesse Garcia. Counsel, are you, Ms. Stetson, are you still on the line for this?
Your Honor, I don't believe, let me pull him up. I don't believe I'm appearing on this one. No, Your Honor, the state isn't appearing on this. This is just a misdemeanor case.
Okay, but are there any other cases that you want to appear on, just so I don't?
Yes, Your Honor, state will be appearing on number 8, number 6, number 12.
All right.
I believe those are the 3 remaining cases that the state will be appearing on.
Okay, 8, 6, 12. Thank you.
Thank you.
Were you going to modify number 2?
I was, you know, I didn't, I know, and I should. Let me go back and hit save. Oh, signature, there we go. All right, go ahead, Mr. Luna. Full name, date of birth?
Angel Luna, January 12, 1999.
All right, you, sir, were arrested yesterday, charged, well, let me get you down here. I'm not right on the, there we go. Yesterday, charged with disorderly conduct by fighting a misdemeanor, criminal damage, by defacement of misdemeanor. I've appointed counsel at the next court appearance. I'm going to release you on your own recognizance to appear in Goodyear Municipal Court on March 26th at 1 PM, conditions of your release include not returning to the scene of the alleged crime or having contact with victims or witnesses, and if you're served with an order of protection, you must comply with its terms. You understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. We have your order right there. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm so sorry. For number 2.
Number 2, we didn't correct that? All right.
No changes made.
All right, let me do it again. Let me see what I do here. No, I didn't. It was a $2,500 bond.
But you said you were gonna modify it.
No, what I was gonna, because I was gonna take her word for the fact that it was her residence.
Okay, so it's good to go. I just wanted to check.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Where was I? Where was I? Now, Jesse Garcia. And then it will be Jacob Hood. Go ahead, Mr. Garcia. Full name, date of birth.
Jesse Garcia, and then 1/18/2000.
All right, you, sir, were arrested yesterday, charged with 1 count each of the following. Driving while under the influence, including extreme DUI, depending upon what the blood test shows, and violating an order of protection, which is a misdemeanor. Well, I'm just telling you, I didn't read the order itself, but it probably prohibited you from making any communications, and on your phone, they found evidence of your communicating with somebody you've been prohibited not to. Okay, well then, anyway, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance to appear in Goodyear Municipal Court on March 26th at 10 o'clock. Conditions of your release are you're not to have, there has already been an order of protection issued, right? You've been served with a copy, correct? All right. You're not to have any contact with the alleged victim. You're not to contact her verbally or physically. You're not to go over to where the address is that you've been prohibited from going to. And I'm going to release you at this time because I don't know that there were any previous violations. But if there's another previous violation, you'll just probably have to post a good-sized bond to get out. All right? There you go. The order's right over here. Thank you. All right, Jacob Hood, and then it'll be Nicholas Egan. Full name, date of birth.
Jacob John Hood, May 20th, 1995.
All right, Mr. Hood, you were arrested yesterday, charged with misdemeanor assault and then a form of child abuse. It's a class 3 felony, and it was, in the officer's opinion, when you ran with the child in your arms, as described in the Form 4, that was a form of reckless behavior. Pretrial Services says you're financially capable of hiring your own counsel. I set bond in the amount of, County Attorney, Ms. Stetson?
Yes, Your Honor.
This is one of the ones that, this is one of the ones that you wanted to appear on.
Yes,
Go
Your
ahead.
Honor. For the record, Ashley steps in on behalf of the state. Yes, Your Honor, this is a case where the suspect is alleged to have been in an argument initially with one of the victims. I believe this is the victim in the misdemeanor charge, Your Honor, who they are in a domestic relationship. They have a child in common, which is one of the victims, Your Honor. They were allegedly in an argument. There are additional victims, I believe, witnesses, Your Honor. The suspect was chasing after the witnesses, the state believed, and based on the officer's investigation, Your Honor, the officer felt like the way that the suspect was chasing after the witnesses was concerning to the safety of the minor, who the officers refer to as a very young baby. The officers did say that, he was chasing after their vehicle and while holding the baby in his arms, which placed the baby in an imminent risk of physical injury. Based on that, Your Honor, that does cause the state concern. The state is asking for bond, Your Honor. In regard to conditions of release, the state is also asking for not to possess firearms, not to return to the incident location, no direct or indirect contact with the victims, no consume alcohol and or illegal substances. Additionally, Your Honor, this is a domestic violence case, which statutorily allows for electronic monitoring, so the state would be also asking for that. Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, what was the last part that you said?
Oh, sorry. This is a domestic violence case based on the relationship between the child and the other victim, Your Honor. So statutorily, the state is asking for electronic monitoring.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Garcia.
Mr. Hood.
Mr. Hood. Mr. Hood, I believe that there was at least probable cause for a threat to the child. I think it's something that if there was a serious problem with regard to your treatment of the child, I think that the mother has sources available to make sure that this matter is treated in another way. I am going to set a $1,100 bond. Conditions of your release, if you bond out, are not to return to the scene of the alleged crime or have contact with victims or witnesses at this stage. As you leave here, if you bond out, in any subsequent court proceeding, any order that I enter can be modified for good reason. You're not to have any contact with the alleged witnesses or victims, and if an order of protection is issued and you're served with a copy, you must comply with its terms. You understand?
Yes. Is there any way that I could be released to pretrial services? I've never missed a court date. I haven't been in trouble in a very long time. I want to be able to just go home, and I don't exactly have $1,100 to bond out.
You know, let me tell you, I think that one of the things I take into consideration sometimes in a case like this is if they feel that it's appropriate for you to be released, they can do that. And if they don't, they won't do anything that would assist you in being released. And if you're served with an order of protection, I think you know that you're not to go back there. Very likely it would have those terms. I'm going to keep the $1,100 bond in place at this stage, and I think that you are sufficiently. You have your job would allow you to retain counsel, and I don't know what else to say except that under the circumstances, I think it's appropriate that you be held at least until somebody in your family is willing to take responsibility for your being released, if that's a problem. All right. All right. There you go.
Thank you.
All right, Nicholas Egan, and then it'll be Omar Padron. Full name, date of birth. Full name, date of birth.
Nicholas John Egan, April 20th, 1986.
All right, you, sir, were arrested yesterday, charged with threatening and intimidating That's a Class 1 misdemeanor. I'm going to release you on your own recognizance to appear in Carefree Cave Creek Consolidated Court on March 26th at 9 a.m. You're not to return to the scene of the alleged crime or have contact with alleged victims or witnesses, and if an order of protection is issued and you're served with a copy, you must comply with its terms. You understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, there you go. Omar Padron, and then it'll be Alan Fair. Full name, date of birth?
Good evening. Omar Amparano Padron, 4/16/1993.
All right. You were arrested, and let me get this back up here.
Yes, sir.
Whoa. I'm down. I lost my...
That's going to be okay.
Yeah, there we go. You were arrested yesterday, charged with aggravated driving while under the influence with a passenger under the age of 15. That's a felony.
Yes, sir.
2 counts of endangerment, felonies. 1 count, well, basically all the different ways you can be charged with driving while under the influence, and including driving with excessive speed in addition at 20 miles over the speed limit.
Yes, sir.
All right, the Public Defender's Office appointed to represent you. Does the County Attorney's Office have a position concerning Mr. Padron's release?
Yes, Your Honor. The fact of this case, Your Honor, is that the suspect was alleged to be driving 113 miles an hour in a 65 mile an hour zone. He was changing lanes unsafely. Law enforcement did conduct a traffic stop. Upon a traffic stop, the officer noticed that the suspect had an odor of intoxicants coming from him and watery eyes. The suspect did do field sobriety test, Your Honor. He did fail the field sobriety test. Additionally, a PVT was done. The PVT was a .216. And he did submit to breath samples, which were a .174 and .171, which is mostly concerning, Your Honor, is that at the time that this was going on, Your Honor, the suspect had his, I believe, 9-year-old and 1-year-old child in the car with him. So there's obvious concerns with the safety to those minors. The state did staff this case with the on-call vehicular bureau for the Maricopa County Attorney's Office. The state isn't opposed to releasing the suspect to pretrial services with the condition that the suspect does not consume any alcohol and or drug, and does and alcohol and drug monitoring are ordered, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Mr. Padron?
Yes, sir.
I am going to release you on your own recognizance to appear in Superior Court, downtown Phoenix on March 21st at 8:30. I have had appointed the Public Defender's Office to represent you. I think you can sense from the county attorney's description of what it is that they are fearful about.
Yes, sir.
What they're concerned about with your behavior. I saw, looking at your record, I saw nothing of any sorts that you've been arrested for any alcohol-related offenses.
No, sir.
And if you are, again, then they'll treat it appropriately.
Yes, sir.
All right. Go ahead.
It's never going to happen again.
All right. Well, I hope for your sake and everybody else's sake it won't.
I appreciate you.
All right. Alan Fair, and then it will be David Lee. Full name, date of birth?
G2794, Alan Fair.
All right, you, sir, were arrested yesterday, charged with possession of dangerous drugs, a Class 4 felony, and obstructing a thoroughfare, a public highway, a thoroughfare, a misdemeanor, Class 2 misdemeanor, public defender's office appointed to represent you. I am releasing you on your own recognizance to appear in Superior Court, downtown Phoenix, March 21st at 8:30. There you go.
Thank you.
David Lee, and then it'll be Donnell Finley. Full name, date of birth, please.
David Lee, April 29, 2003.
All right, you, sir, were arrested earlier today, charged with criminal trespass, a Class 2 misdemeanor in this case. I am going to release you on your own recognizance to appear in University Lakes Justice Court on March 25th at 1:30. At that time, if you believe you should have an attorney appointed to represent you in this case, you can request the court consider that. All right? And your conditions of your release include not going back to the location where this is alleged to have occurred or having any contact with the alleged victims.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Donnell Finley, and then it'll be Demetrius Shaw. Full name, date of birth?
Donnell Finley, 9/27/1973.
All right. You, sir, were arrested yesterday, charged with possession of narcotic drugs, a Class 4 felony. I appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. I'm going to release you on your own on supervised release to appear in Superior Court March 21st at 8:30. In your release orders will be the phone number, the paperwork that you received, the phone number for pretrial services. Within a few days of your release, call the number and touch base with them. They're expecting your recall, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Demetrius Shaw, and then it'll be Joseph Jackson. Full name, date of birth?
Demetrius Shaw, 06/01/2005.
All right. You, sir, were arrested yesterday, charged with aggravated assault causing serious injury, a Class 3 felony. The Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent you. Does the County Attorney's Office have a position concerning any release conditions from Mr. Shaw?
Yes, Your Honor. Ashley steps in for the state. The state is requesting that bond be set in the amount of $75,000 secured based on the allegations, Your Honor. It's alleged that the suspect punched and possibly kicked the victim in the head. The victim has cerebral palsy, Your Honor, making him a vulnerable adult. He is also legally blind. As a result of the actions of the suspect, the victim had a fractured skull, a brain bleed, and an injury to the ear that ultimately caused deafness in his right ear, Your Honor. The state did read the victim's impact statement that was provided to the court and state. Your Honor, these are very concerning allegations. An individual that is already vulnerable now has significant injuries as a result of the suspect's alleged actions, Your Honor. The state is asking for the defendant not to possess any firearms, not to return to the incident, electronic monitoring, no direct or indirect contact with the victims and or witnesses, and not to consume alcohol or use illegal substances, Your Honor. Again, the state is asking for a $75,000 secured bond. Thank you.
All right. Yes, Mr. Shaw, according to the part of the police report that I read concerning what the officers were told by doctors at the emergency room, there was a cracked skull, fractured skull. They believe that the victim will recover. It's non-life threatening, but without more, the police report concerning the alleged assault was kind of skimpy. I believe that under the circumstances, you may very well represent a threat to the community. If you are released, I'm setting bond in the amount of $25,000. You're not to return to the scene of the alleged crime or have contact with victims or the alleged victim or witnesses. Your next court date will be March 13th at 8:30 in Superior Court in downtown Phoenix. And your order is right over there. And that got modified. I don't know. Yeah.
Sign it, does not have the bond.
Well, let me sign. There we go.
And Your Honor, that concludes all the matters for the state.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Joseph Jackson.
Yes, sir.
And then it will
1480,
be
Joseph Jackson.
Leticia Sosi. Full name, date of birth.
Again, Joseph Jackson, 10/14/80.
All right, Mr. Jackson, you were arrested yesterday, charged with aggravated assault causing serious physical injury. That's a Class 3 felony. Wait a minute, my screen didn't. You can put your eyebrows down now.
I'll put my hand up real quick.
Yeah, I didn't. You were arrested yesterday, charged with one count each of the following. A form of assault causing fear of injury in the victim, a Class 4 felony, obstruction by refusing to give correct name, and criminal trespass, a misdemeanor. Public Defender's Office appointed to represent you. I'm just reading the charges, okay? All right. I mean, I can't change that, all right?
Right.
All right. Public Defender's Office appointed to represent you. I am releasing you on supervised release to appear in Superior Court downtown Phoenix on March 21st at 8:30. Conditions of your release include not returning to the scene of the alleged crime or having contact with alleged victims or witnesses. Any questions?
Can I get documented, like my injuries, or no?
Well, you can, but at this stage of proceedings,
I was going to say, do you have pictures of the?
I don't know what's available. Nothing. I don't believe that there's anything that you are expressing an interest in that was part of the Form 4. They would be available to you if there were. You have an attorney appointed to represent you. Talk to your attorney about it. But what my primary function at this stage of proceedings is determine whether or not there's probable cause to believe an offense has been committed, and you committed it, and do you represent such a threat to the community based upon your behavior that a substantial bond should be set? And I didn't believe that, so that's why I'm releasing you on supervised release. And your paperwork, and the paperwork you get will be pretrial services phone number. Give them a call within a few days of your release. They're expecting that. Touch base with them. All right, there you go. Leticia Sosi, and then it'll be Michael Broder. Full name, date of birth, please.
Leticia Sosi, 11/01/01.
All right, ma'am. You were arrested earlier today, charged with 3 counts of disorderly conduct by fighting, all misdemeanors. Pretrial services says that you are financially capable of hiring your own counsel. I'm going to release you on your own recognizance to appear in Peoria Municipal Court on March 27th at 9 a.m. You have absolutely no history of any sort that I could find from the material I'm provided. And so in a case like this, there's kind of a quandary for the person in my position. Should I prohibit you from returning, which is to the location where this occurred? Should I prohibit you from having any contact with these people, your family members? And I got the impression that this was an unusual circumstance, and that you don't present to them a threat of something like this happening in the future, and if you do, they could always get an order, of protection against you, and if they did, you'd have to comply with it, all right? And that's part of my order also, is if an order of protection is issued and you're served with a copy, you must comply with its terms, all right? And if that means not going back there or having contact with any of the alleged victims, you'll have to do that. You understand?
Yeah, this is my house.
Huh? It is your house?
Yeah, it's my house.
All right, but I will tell you that the incident that occurred trumps temporarily, at least, that your ownership. I mean, if you cause an offense in there and injure people, even if it's your house, at this stage of proceedings, you can be prohibited from going back there. That doesn't mean you lose ownership. But I mean, at this stage of proceedings, they're not expected to go out and scramble and try and find someplace else to live. If you did something that would that constitutes a serious offense and you present a danger to them, all right?
All right.
All right, there you go. Your order's right over there.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Michael Broder, and then it will be Christopher Alexander. Full name, date of birth?
Michael Broder, August 23rd, 1983.
Let me see here. Where was I? I didn't bring my glasses today, so I'm kind of straining here. All right. You were arrested yesterday, charged with possession of dangerous drugs, a Class 4 felony, possession of narcotic drugs, a Class 4 felony, possession of drug paraphernalia, Class 6 felony. Pretrial services says that you're financially capable of hiring your own counsel. If that's not correct, you can request appointment of counsel any subsequent court proceeding. I'm going to release you on your own recognizance to appear in Superior Court downtown Phoenix on March 21st at 8:30. All right, there you go.
Thank you.
Christopher Alexander. Full name, date of birth?
Christopher Alexander, 10/31/84.
All right, Mr. Alexander, you're on felony probation here in Maricopa County. The probation department contends you violated your conditions of probation, and on February 10th, the warrant for your arrest was issued with a $100 bond. You may have heard me at the beginning of these proceedings tell everybody that if you're in a probation violation matter that occurred here in Maricopa County, Public Defender's Office appointed to represent you. Your next court date will be March 14th at 8:30 in Superior Court in downtown Phoenix, and your order is right over there.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. We got house calls here. Joseph Hoffey, 21-22-31. Mr. Hoffey is on felony probation here in Maricopa County. On February 5th, a warrant for his arrest was issued with a $100 bond. His next court date in that matter will be his revocation arraignment hearing in Superior Court downtown Phoenix, March 14th at 8:30. He also, come on, don't jump around like that, has where do we go here? A direct complaint filed by the county attorney's office charging him with burglary, a Class 4 felony, and shoplifting by concealment and misdemeanor. This was issued on February 27th with a $1,500 bond. His next court date in that matter, God, get this stuff jump around, will be March 13th at 8:30, Superior Court downtown Phoenix, Public Defender's Office appointed to represent him. And then the reason that he was here today is that He was arrested earlier today, charged with possession of drug paraphernalia, Class 6 felony. His next court date, I set a $250 bond. His next court date, March 13th at 8:30, Superior Court, downtown Phoenix. All right. Is that everybody?
There's number 34, Dakota Hunker.
Okay. Oh, there we go, yes. Yes, Dakota Hunker is here because he was arrested yesterday and charged with giving false information to law enforcement, a misdemeanor, obstruction of the highway thoroughfare, a misdemeanor, and refusing to give correct name when instructed by law enforcement, a misdemeanor. He's being released on his own recognizance to appear in the Highland Justice Court on March 27th at 9 a.m. Let me get those all listed here. Oh.